and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in a moment.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line and we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Oh, here it comes. It's Halloween night. It's Studio C. Welcome to it. Hi, everybody. I'm Clayton McKee along with Kat Carlson. Our good friend, the lovely, the talented Al Perkins is here, too. I gave you the big intro because you said you were completely exhausted, and I thought maybe we could build you up. Buttercup.
Yeah. before you let him down.
Yeah.
Who knows how long we can continue this barrage? Masquerade.
There's coffee and corn nuts. Possibly go wrong.
That's gonna get me through a couple of minutes. I'm
Not necessarily in that order, but we'll figure it out. By the way, if you're wondering where Marnie is, though this early in the show you're used to not seeing her, she's not coming tonight. Deployed new software with work, and apparently, just like Al's couches, he said they were light as a feather, and they weren't. The software was to be, intuitive and easy for everybody, and not at all. So Marnie is trying to figure out how to do payroll with an entirely new accounting system. So good for her.
She just, you know what? She needs to get one of those money guns that you see in the music videos, where they just like rocket the
Make it
dollar
rain.
bills
Yeah.
out.
Whatever
And
you
she just
catch,
needs to,
it's yours.
Yeah, she just needs to walk out to whoever she's paying and be like, "All right, 30-second rule. Here we go. Anything
Grab
you can pick up in 30
right.
seconds."
Just put him in
You
the
keep-
money cage, like on The Price is Right or whatever show that is.
Oh, I love those. They have one of those at Chuck E. Cheese, not for money, but for like tickets or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
For skee ball tickets or some
it's
bullshit.
pretty hilarious
I'm
to watch
sure
the
I'd
kids
want a
do
sweater in there. All I know is all that wind blowing. Mama's gonna need an
it. Awfully
Afghan or
chilly.
something.
Awfully chilly.
Well, for those of you who, hi Mom, she's there. Happy Halloween. As of my text message from her just a few minutes ago, she'd had 5 trick-or-treaters. I have none, and I'll tell you, let me show you why. I'm going to show you why I don't have any.
Can we go to our reporter in the field?
Now, there's no.
Quick, let me go out front.
There's no mystery. We do this show from my house, my humble home here in Central Phoenix. That is what it normally looks like outside my
Not a
front.
live cam currently.
That's not. But now if we go live to outside, boom, there's caution tape. There are no lights on at my house. It's very barren, and nobody can. It looks like it's just an abandoned house.
I almost didn't come inside.
I was thinking to myself, I should have told them. So when the show is over, we will. I'll go outside and plug everything back in and bring it all back to life. But yeah, I don't need to be interrupted with them all. Even though the sign is on the door, English and in Spanish, that says I have no candy. Which, interestingly enough, this year caused quite a hullabaloo
I saw that.
on the old
Your
Facebooks because
translation was bad.
no. The
No,
funny thing is,
I thought it was your best translation ever.
because here's the irony of this whole thing. You get a bunch of people from a bunch of different parts of the world that speak various dialects of Spanish. Oh my God, it's just a fucking free for all. Because the one, Ernesto Diaz 2 years ago translated it for me and said that was right. Then 3 other people got involved. Joan got involved in it, and he was all up in arms. So everybody's all up in arms. So it was kind of funny. So
Yeah, your translation last year was not good.
last year was the same as this year. I got the translation
then it
from
was-
Ernesto,
yeah.
but years previously, I didn't know what the fuck I had. Something about "Oh no, Candio at this house." I didn't know what the hell the fuck it was.
Wow.
But anywho, it was funny to see everybody get on board with critiquing the sign, and I guess in ways they're all correct. Just depends on where you live in Mexico or in the countries that speak Spanish. I guess. It's all
Well,
different.
a weird thing is like what they call ice cream. Like some people call it
Palapa or
nieva, which means
Oh.
snow, and I'm like, no, I meant
Okay.
ice cream, which is helado. But it just
Oh, look
depends
at
on
you.
where you're from as to how you describe it. Like, and then some people just mean popsicles, which is polote, I think is popsicle. So you get all these things that mean like frozen treats, but never the right way. But you'll hear it a lot of that
seems to
people will
work.
ask for snow, and you're like, are you asking for meth? Like, what's?
Oh,
Why are you asking
well,
for
I guess
snow?
depending on where you were in the country, if you ask for snow, you're going to get various things.
Yeah, so
Maybe that's part of the fun. I don't know. Could be. I have no idea.
I don't really know.
I don't know either. But
I
anyway,
don't think snow is meth. Isn't that still cocaine though?
I thought it was. Is it ice? Not the same?
wrong gal. I didn't even watch.
Oh no, I
I
understand.
didn't even make it past episode 2 of Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Oh, I watched that whole thing. I thought it was great.
Um,
Science and crime. How can you go wrong?
how?
Yeah, you like this would mean like I have nothing sweet for Halloween. So yeah, and Dulce's like I have nothing sweet. I have no sweets.
Right. But then there was somebody who was saying I needed to take another word out because it meant it was a double negative.
Yeah,
That's what somebody.
the no ningun
Right.
would make it
So
kind of a
she
double
said-
negative.
So it was 2 Phoenix police officers last night. They were talking to me about it in a bar, not like on the side of the road. I went to have drinks with
They
Ricardo.
like pulled you over. Whoop, whoop.
No, yeah,
Clayton
your
McKee.
sign.
I saw your sign on Facebook and I wanted to talk to you about it.
No, I went to have drinks with Ricardo Sanchez last night, and another partner of his showed up, and they were all debating this signage issue, and it was just funny to me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, because the caramello, like that doesn't mean candy, so that one's wrong.
well, and also, Caramello, if I'm not mistaken, is a brand name of an American candy.
And
Caramello or
delicious,
something
too,
like
that's
that.
Just,
Or-
it's just like velvety, rich caramel covered in chocolate. They're delicious.
Oh my God, it is hotter than hell in here, and I don't know how much longer in the show we're gonna make it with Fork. Daddy has to turn the fan back up. I am already sweating.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I don't want you to die because you've already got a raspy
No,
voice.
I'm fine.
And I have another sweater in the other room.
Here.
Look at you though with your vest. What is going on with
I'm
that?
very vesty, I
You've
know.
got a lot going on, Miss
So I
Carlson.
can turn that up higher.
So here's what's happened.
Oh, okay.
I've realized that possibly due to efforts at the gym, possibly other sources, who knows, that now there's an entire part of my wardrobe that I can now wear again because the buttons come together
Oh,
in the front.
That's
which is
how that
very
works.
exciting to me.
I have a pile of jeans in there that I one day hope to wear somewhere again.
Listen, I had already given up on most of these things, and then I put on a shirt for something, and I went, "Oh well, good goddamn! I can button this shirt again."
Good goddamn.
It's like when you put on the belt and all of a sudden you're like, well, that was 4 notches, not
that was-
3.
right.
Yeah.
Or I didn't have to suck it in or lay on the bed to get the jeans on. Or
Yeah.
use the coat hanger.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember the old wire coat
It's
hanger
not
way?
quite that exciting, but instead of
Different.
flinging the buttons off as I walk,
Yeah.
now that they actually come together.
It's where guys and girls come together on the coat hanger story. Laying down in the bed using the coat hanger to get the zipper up.
Pliers.
Because
Pliers.
having the tits lay down to your back makes the jeans.
Wow.
It's true. It really does work.
Could lay
I've
on
seen it
my
work many times.
Conversion table.
Exactly.
Many times.
Might work
I have
for
not
that,
worn
too.
jeans that tight in a lot of years, but
Oh,
Oh, me neither. We gave. Oh no.
no.
I'd like a nice relaxed fit and a straight leg, please.
I got the. I
These are
got
almost
the,
parachute pants. I want these.
I was nearly hospitalized for agita from wearing too tight of jeans and having dinner in New York one time, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Nothing is digesting. I can't make it past the waistband of my
go
jeans.
anywhere. The entire lower intestine is
Just-
constricted.
Just collapsed.
So Nico Santos from Channel 12 just commented on my picture that shows no lights and caution tape. He says, lights off means no candy. Caution tape means come find out for sure.
Yeah. Well, your neighbors are going to be asking you tomorrow, like, after you posted about people breaking in and stuff.
Did someone die?
Oh, and B across the street, she called me earlier. When she saw me putting the tape up, she goes, that's a good idea. And I said, well, I'm also going to shut all the lights off. She's like, oh, okay. So about 30 minutes later, she called and she's like, just want you to know not to worry. I'm shutting my light off too. I'm like, well, I said, about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I said, turn it back on. She's like, all right. Like, we don't want it to be dark patio for all night.
Right, and I turned on the light, my back lights, so when I get home, there'll be light for me to get into the garage. But
Oh, right.
I didn't want them. Plus, the fact that the doorbell has been neutered, so you can push that button all you want
All
to, but
day.
nothing rings.
Well, we should get you a sign for your door. You have no Carmelo either.
Yeah.
Caramello. I'll print them for everybody.
I want some caramellos now. Damn it.
But I do have, now Al did say that the irony of the sign and the lack of lighting is the fact that I have a bowl of candy for us. So
Right, all in trick-or-treater size.
Right, fun
Well, sure, 'cause
size.
they're all over the
There's
store. How do you
peanut
resist
Right,
them?
exactly.
And tomorrow they're going to be
On
50% off.
Exactly. Buy all your Valentine's
We're just
March 1st.
seconds away from,
Yes.
from a candy sale.
Yeah. Now, for those of you also wondering what happens immediately following this Halloween holiday here in the United States, tomorrow morning, all Christmas music starts 24/7 on about every fucking channel you can find from now until probably New Year's Day.
And I'm A-okay with that.
Okay about that, sure.
I mean,
I listened to Ministry every day as Halloween today, so I had my Halloween music, and I'll probably listen to Thriller when I get home.
Oh, sure.
Try to pretend I know the dance.
I was going to have us reenact Thriller, the video, tonight in studio, but I decided against it. I wanted you to know.
We've all been there at some point.
Right. We've all hacked our way through that choreography.
But Ministry every day as Halloween is always a favorite, and I was like
that's a
the
good one.
memories came up, and I had it on there, and I'm like, oh, that's what makes me listen to it every year. Bum 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 bum. Oh my god, it's such a good song.
I almost thought that was the beginning of a Stevie Wonder song when you did that.
Could be. They may have stolen from some of it.
You're going for superstition there?
Well, I wasn't sure if it was Superstition or if there was another.
You can feel it all over.
Okay.
All right.
Can you feel it all over, people? So, Amina, we have a
I
question
can't even
for
reach
you.
all over.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they're not touching you. Just because you can't find them.
Oh, Amina, yes, we have a question. Go ahead.
So, Amina, we have a technical question. Do you call it summer in June, July, and August? Or do you call it winter?
Yeah, just tell us when your seasons fall.
Now, a little side note on this.
Oh,
Number
Kat
one.
fucking knows every goddamn thing
No,
about
no, no.
seasons.
But we had a pre-meeting on this.
There was-
Oh, I didn't know there was.
In the production meeting today,
Yeah.
it came up that people that live in the southern hemisphere must be awfully confused when we have the Winter Olympics because it's summer there.
Right.
So
In the Southern
So
Hemisphere.
did they change
Yeah.
the name of the Do they
Now,
know them as?
Side note, I don't know that Amina is far enough into the southern hemisphere
Well, no, because
to
the guy,
experience the winter type.
but the guy that I worked with was from Kenya, also from very near where she's
Alright.
from, and he would always ask why they played soccer in the Summer Olympics. So
Because it's winter for them.
because it's winter for them. So he was very confused by the.
It's based on where the Olympics are held.
So maybe
No,
that's
it really
maybe
isn't.
that's where they were playing soccer because
sounded
we also
good.
wondered.
It did, but I had to shoot you down almost immediately.
I'm gonna find a map.
Facts do not belong on
Because
this show.
they just had the Summer Olympics in Rio where it was winter.
But it was beautiful.
Right.
Well, they have it in a temperate climate, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's their winter.
In fact, I'd like to go to Tonga. Where is Tonga? Can
Tonga,
we go back
yeah.
to
See the map.
Tonga, can you hear us?
that boy from Tonga?
So we just had a
Tonga,
question
can
of
you
like,
hear
do they switch it so that their winter falls in June, July, and August, or do they still call it summer but it's considered cold? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Sure,
And
she
yeah,
imagine.
I don't know that Kenya quite falls
And Amina has
far
had
enough
plenty of time to hear the
Right.
question and respond. So
Far
what's
enough,
below
yeah.
the
going on,
equator.
Amina?
And
Yeah.
They're still in the temperate tropical zone where it's
Right, where it's the same.
one
and I think
temperature all the
I
time.
think she kind of said that the last time we asked her something about that it was pretty much
Yeah.
temperate all the time because of where they are.
Temperate. That sounds lovely.
However,
in
anyone
our
listening
Virginia,
from say
Virginia.
Argentina,
Yeah, different story.
yeah, then it's dead on.
Rio de los Platos,
Right.
Florida, Corrientes, Nueve de Julio.
Sure.
Is that a Gloria Estefan song?
No, it's the words to
Is that
Buenos
the real
Aires.
words? Is that the real words to Congo?
I almost went into To the Beat of the Rhythm of the Night from the DeBarge. Wrong song. Wrong song.
Lovely.
Oh, funny story though. I was
Oh.
in LA and they were this radio. There's a fun radio station out of LA whose call letters I never remember.
Sure.
But it's like an old school R&B station, lots of fun, and they actually had like a jam off between
Ooh,
DeBarge, El DeBarge, and Shalimar. So they were playing Shalimar songs back to back, and you got to vote over the course of the afternoon, and they went back and forth. So it was really a fun day of listening. But El DeBarge was the guest. He just happened to stumble in to push something he was doing locally without realizing that the radio station had planned this
Oh,
event.
right.
So just coincidentally, they had El DeBarge
In studio.
there to like count the votes and find out if he won or lost, and like tell some stories of like
Drug use and abuse.
being on in the bands. And I honestly forgot. So in December, do you call it summer? That's
She
my
says
question.
high summer right there.
Right.
December is high summer for us.
Yeah.
Two seasons.
But I want to know, like, if do
Radiant
you call it
dry.
summer, or of course that's going to be a different word because
Sure.
right. So anyway, so it was just fun that you mentioned El DeBarge, and he's always in the back of my mind because he was such a fun personality. For
he was.
the hour of that show.
Oh, that show. I'm sorry. Yes.
That somebody got out a shovel and dug up his grave and found him, and
I
all was well.
I was astounded when I had Googled him a couple of years ago because in my head he still looks like To the Beat of the Rhythm of the Night, and he looks like he did when he was on that Motown at the Apollo special in '85, like with the big hair and the thing. And then I realized, 35 years has passed for that young man.
Long time
Yeah.
gone, as the Dixie Chicks say.
Yeah, that's so he went through a whole bunch of shit with drugs and abuse and some shit. So fell from that tree.
And I always forget, was he the one that was secretly married to
No,
Janet Jackson?
No, that's James. That's the
DeBarge.
tall James DeBarge.
Yeah.
They're all
And they're
DeBarges.
somehow all related to Barry Gordy.
Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah, they're like nephews of the Gordys or something.
Did not know that.
Nonsense.
But not the children of Diana Ross.
No. But that show, Blackish, keeps getting funnier and funnier.
I love
That's
that
a
show.
good show. And they really are spinning off the daughter. I thought maybe they had aborted the plan to
But they're
spin
gonna.
off the oldest girl, but it starts in January, and they already introduced they introduced the character, and he's the hot guy from, it was American Crime Story a
The
couple years ago.
boyfriend from the last episode, from the Monopoly episode?
From the Monopoly
Okay,
episode.
yeah.
Yes, the one that kind of lives there for some reason. He's kind of staying with them.
Yeah.
And he got his shirt off and
Do
everything.
we, do we have a name?
I don't remember, but he was on
She'll get it.
the date rape episode of
not
American Crime Story.
Well, I'm not
going to
type date rape into the Google search window to see what comes up. I think that'd be bad.
I feel like you won't get the results that you want there.
Right, yeah.
Well, not today's results that I want. Different results are different.
Right.
Wow, winter. That's odd to think that winter is technically June, July for them. We didn't start to call it summer until fairly recently, she says. Also, our winter is technically June, July. It's just odd to think that, but that's
Yeah,
where you are.
and it just came to me like, did they? Because I was thinking, like, what do people? And I've always thought this my entire life. Like, what do people in Australia think about all the references to snow in Christmas songs? Do they just think we're dicks? Because for them it's a summer holiday.
Or do they even listen to our shitty Christmas music? Do they? Do
Right,
they have
because
their
I don't
own?
listen to a lot of Australian Christmas music.
But I just can't believe that anyone's gotten away from Jingle Bells in any corner of the earth. You know that I can't believe that Dashing
Dashing
Through
Through the
the
Snow?
hasn't made a plane ride
In a
at some
one-horse
point.
And a one
Yeah.
kangaroo open sleigh, something like that.
So
Oh, by the way, I want to give a shout out. I found on our on one of our Google pages a gentleman. I don't have a first name. It just his profile says his first initial G Brown. He's from Canada. Left us a post saying that he loves listening to our shows weekly. So, which is good because we do
so
them.
lovely.
We do
We
them
do them
weekly.
weekly, so, yeah.
I think
So
that's good. So, Mr. Brown, I don't know where you are, or if you get to join us in the chat room, or if you just listen on the old repeats or syndication. But thanks for listening up from Canada. We've had a few other friends up there from Canada. In fact, we haven't heard from Joy Ferrucci in a while, or at least I haven't. So
I've gotten some Snapchats from him.
okay, so we have
He does like to Snapchat.
people
Yeah.
all around the globe listening to us. So thanks for being out there,
Including
Mr. Brown.
the Canadians. So friendly, so clean.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I watched the poor people of South Park are relentless on the Canadians, and it just cracks me up. And there's one episode that I've
Blame
seen
Canada.
a couple of times. It's an episode where the royal couple, it's a royal wedding, and they go through this whole thing, and there's a commentator that commentates through the entire process. And things like, well, as is tradition with Canada, and he goes on. They say all this kind of stuff, and there's one scene where, in the wedding, well, the bride gets abducted during one of the weddings, but when they actually come together, finally they actually have the ceremony. She swims in a vat of butterscotch pudding, as is customary in Canada. And at one point, they rip each other's arm off, and there's just this whole cavalcade
And
of
they
things
can
that
tell they're
happen.
Canadian because they have the split head.
Yes, they all.
They all,
exactly.
if they're Canadian on South Park, they have the split
But
head.
it's just
Their beady
hilarious
little eyes and their flip-flop little heads.
to have
the song goes.
yes, that's exactly right.
I know.
But it's so funny that how much
Oh, they're hockey hullabaloo and that bitch and Murray too.
blame Canada. It's enjoyable to watch the South Park with that, because the one kid, Ike, who is the Bravlovsky's little brother, clearly is Canadian. Because
Oh,
he's
right.
The
He's a-
baby.
don't kick the baby, kick the baby. But he was
Stays
watching.
funny all these years later.
Yeah.
Still
He was
amused.
watching some show, and the news broke in, and he realized that Canada was under duress because the queen or the princess, whatever, had been abducted. Well, apparently in the episode, everybody from Canada is issued at birth a box that has a radio signal in it. So if there's ever distress, you pull the box out and open it, and it plays a little video on the wall and tells you what you're supposed to do. So everybody converged to Canada.
Oh, Jesus
Oh dear
Christ.
God! It was just the funniest thing. It was great. Well, as is customary in the Canadian tradition. Very funny show. What did you find out about the black guy from the show?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Hang on.
My God.
I'm working on
Oh,
it.
here I can find it for you because it's gonna be.
It's going to be easier if I go to Grownish, not Blackish,
it
because
is.
I'm
And
sorting
he's
through
like
all the
this-
guest stars.
His name's like Trevon or something like that.
Trevon.
Trevon. I'm making that up. It's probably horrible, but
It's all
Is
right.
it Trevor? I think it is.
yeah.
Trevor
Jackson.
Trevor, VOR.
Yeah,
Trevor
VOR.
Jackson.
I'd recommend shirtless if I was you.
Stand
'cause
by,
First
I'm-
thing he did was take that shirt off. Oh, and it was
Oh,
just
well, wait a minute. He's been an actor for a while, because some of these are young of him.
Yeah.
How long is he?
Let's see. Hits include Blackish, Grownish,
Clutch the-
American Crime.
Clutch the pearls.
Yeah, American Crime.
He was on one episode of Criminal Minds. He was in.
Yeah, he's good looking.
He's young.
Do yourself a favor.
Baby.
Traditional spelling, Trevor Jackson, shirtless. Google it and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah.
Well, there goes our listeners. Good night,
Yeah,
everybody.
And that bitch Anne Murray too. There's that. So
It's free device.
so what you been up to, Kat Carlson?
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, in fairness, we are because we've cleared the hurdle of Halloween because
Yeah.
we're done. Because for the bars, Halloween really was the past weekend.
Right.
That all, and then AIDS Walk is over.
AIDS Walk's
so
over.
we've slid into home virtually, or we're stealing between 3rd and 4th, whichever way you go right now. But trying to get to the end of the year.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're in the
working
pre-turkey
on it.
lull.
I can't wait. I'm already planning my 10 days of turkey because I'm going to my mom's for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to be gone.
Gonna be in the Salt Lakes.
Oh, I should probably tell you I'm going to be gone that show.
Okay, so we won't. So you won't be part of our pre-turkey.
November
thing.
20th, I won't be here. I'll be in California with my mom.
Make a note of that.
But then I think Sharon's going to make me a turkey the day after Thanksgiving when I get home. And then she told me that her mom wants to make a turkey, so that I've recommended that Sunday. And
So
then-
every other day turkey.
Right. Or, I also have the Sunday before Thanksgiving, I have a Friendsgiving where there will be turkey.
Well played.
Perhaps the first turkey of the season. I'm not sure yet.
Perhaps.
Because I also saw in the Fry's ad that turkey breast was like buy one, get one free this week. So
One's
There
always
could-
bigger than the other.
I mean, it's just the way it is. You compensate with padding. It's fine.
Thank you for understanding.
So there may even be turkey as soon as November 1st. It's hard to say. Wow. 10 days of turkey is going to be great this year. Follow me on all of the social medias.
See the turkey happen.
Turkey
10
chat.
days of turkey. Other than that, I've been on like a social media blackout because of, the AIDS Walk is a pretty sizable social media push.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find myself the first couple of days afterwards
Going through withdrawal.
constantly checking social media for there
Oh.
to be nothing there because nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Everything's done. And you don't need to be on it all the time. So I actually end up having to.
It's like being on social media right after a major election, except this past one.
Oy.
Yeah, it's like 'cause
That was a lot.
Like as Al says, it's no longer sexy. Everything sexy's over.
But right,
Yeah.
I mean, any kind of a campaign or any kind of a promotion like that, there's always that day after Christmas feeling.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
the big party's
The
over.
party's over.
Now what do we do?
Now what?
Yeah.
Right. It's January 2nd. Like, wah, wah.
Well, yeah.
So I actually have learned over the last couple of years, and I actually remove Facebook and other social media apps from my phone. Like I delete them
Wow.
entirely for a week.
That is called turkey.
So that I can. Yeah, but it's so that
sorry.
I can remember. That was a very funny joke, but
trying.
so that I can remember to like be in the world with people.
Right, yeah.
Like look at the people in my house and my family and say, "What is your name, little boy?" And reconnect and remember who they are. So I've done that. I've done my social media timeout, and now I'm just back a little bit. I've reinstalled all the apps. I'm back in business, and trying to figure out what the next thing is.
Well, look at you.
I know
What do we know what the next
we
big
we
thing?
don't know for sure.
Okay.
We have ideas, but we haven't fully committed. So
Were you part of judging any Halloween costume stuff or anything this weekend?
no.
Or no?
So the Cobalt, interestingly enough, has not had great successes with the costume contests and things. They just we're not quite the venue for that.
Right.
So no, I had a fairly low key
Cool.
kind of a weekend at work. It was no big deal. I even had a sarcastic costume, like all prepared. I was going to wait until somebody got a little too drunk and a little too obnoxious and started harping on the fact that I wasn't dressed up because I wasn't going to dress up.
Yeah, right. I think we've covered that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
As many years in the bar as we've all been, we're done.
There's nothing worse than wearing an uncomfortable costume all night at work. It's the pits.
Yeah.
Unless you're 22 and then you're just wearing assless chaps all night. Like, who cares? What? There was 1 year. I made a lot of money. It's fine.
Wow.
So my pretend costume.
I feel like that was just snuck in over the
over the plate.
It
Yeah.
also didn't happen. So
Yeah, okay.
don't
I was
panic
like,
about it.
I have
I-
questions.
I say a lot of things
Yeah.
that aren't necessarily true. But the thing that I was going to say, should someone decide to hassle me for my lack of costume, is I really wanted to just be able to reach across the bar, slap them lightly in the face, and they say, well, what'd you do that for? And I would say, it's part of my costume. What do you mean it's part of your costume? I'm a bitch. And I would just walk away.
And then would you go into the entire song?
No, I would just...
I'm a bitch. I'm a...
You know, and I could because we're karaoke all the time at the Cobalt. But no, I would just walk away very calmly, like, statement made. But I didn't have an opportunity to even do that. I had a lovely time this weekend.
Right.
With
Got it.
a lack of Halloween.
I was trying to workshop a joke, but I couldn't figure out who to use it on. So I used it on Ernesto Ortiz over the weekend. He's like, really? That's all you got? But I thought it was funny. I just couldn't find a way to fit it in.
Tell me the joke.
Because it really wasn't a joke. It's more just kind of a statement. Well, yeah, it's a joke.
Tell me the joke.
You know how every time, anytime a girl puts on a nurse's outfit, it's sexy nurse.
Oh, right.
Or if you put on a waitress outfit, it's sexy waitress.
Sexy artichoke, right?
Yeah, whatever. Well, every time I would put those outfits on, they just said you're fat. And I thought it was funny.
You're almost there. You're
I know.
almost there.
Well, I told Ernesto, who is a local comedian and friend of ours, I kept telling him I was workshopping it, and he's like, who the fuck are you workshopping to? Like, do you just drive around and do this? And I'm like, I've seen your act, Ernesto. Calm the fuck down. Like, you're workshopping. But I figured now I've got another year to work on it. Because I'm trying to figure out somehow that no matter what I wear, because everything else is sexy this, sexy that, blah, 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 but no matter what I wear, it's...
Well, why don't you replace the word sexy with chunky? Al Perkins, what do you think?
I haven't gotten over the shock of you and assless chaps.
I will agree.
I can't move on from that to his new career in stand-up, as performed in the front seat of his truck.
Fuck you people.
Comedy from a Ford Exploder by Clayton McKee.
Thank you. We'll be here all week. God damn.
Yep, that's it. Show's over. See you later, guys.
I guess it had to happen sometime.
Still fat.
I was just trying to help the joke.
Yeah, well, we didn't need you.
I thought you were workshopping it.
I am.
I didn't realize I was supposed to just laugh at it.
You're not in my shop. Anywho, boys and girls. Al, what have you been doing? You said you exhaustion, so are you...
Work. I feel like I did something last Wednesday, but I guess I know. And then I worked all weekend, picked up a couple extra shifts because they were short-handed, and then had to switch from nights to days today to do two classes this morning. And
oh, that's right, your voice. That's what part of your voice
Mama
went.
is dead. Like dead. I was tired enough yesterday after 60-some hours of work all crammed together in one 5-day period. And then to have to not be able to just keep that sleeping going but get up to an alarm.
Yeah.
But I didn't because in that time of switching from days to night, I would sleep at a weird time. So I woke up at 3 o'clock, well, probably 3:40 in the morning. Because, I went to bed at 10 in the morning. I don't know. It was just weird. So ended up since 3 and then was trying to,
that switch is hard.
Finish the Stranger Things. And then finally had timed it wrong. So when I absolutely had to get up and get in the shower, I had 30 minutes left of the last episode.
Oh, I read your post
and
today,
I seriously could not pay attention to what anyone was saying because I'm like, can I just sneak off in the corner, enjoy the internet, and watch this last 30 minutes? So,
that doesn't seem unreasonable. I feel like
No.
they should have been on board with that.
So, luckily we were able to watch Project Runway with the Patient. So got some of my TV viewing done.
Raise your hand if you don't want to watch.
As we were like, the family wasn't giving it, because a lot of times we'll ask family members what would they like to watch? Like, do they like football on Sunday? We can keep the football on all day, or college football on Saturdays. We can keep the news on if they're news junkies. Like I would be, like you could keep that on, MSNBC
the Weather Channel
for the entire day. The Weather Channel. Like you could pick something stupid that'll be on a loop until it gets to infomercials, and it would at least be something to listen to besides beeping and hospital noise and people talking. Like be something strangely comforting. We've run out of suggestions, so I'm like, everything was awful. I'm like, I'm just gonna put on Project Runway because everything on Thursday night was just awful after a certain point.
Really?
So the poor guy watched like 4 episodes. He knows a lot about hymns.
Very important. You know what? When he recovers, he's going to learn how to make it work.
So, I mean, it was good, though. I needed to, I spend money like it's going to be banned tomorrow. So it was good. It was good to get some money flowing in the other direction.
Spend money like it's banned. There's that.
Like they're taking it out of circulation tomorrow. And Mr. McKee.
Well, we cleared the hurdle of what allegedly is the 25th year, but we know it's the 24th year of the Halloween show at BS West.
After a lot of counting of fingers.
Yeah.
They skipped a year, so it's really the 23rd.
Something. So now it's getting worse. The spread of accuracy is now 2 years.
But I mean, just by the way that people celebrate stuff and put up 25th anniversary signs for stores that have been there a week and a half.
Right.
I am on board with it.
So got through the show relatively easy this year, which was nice. The shock of the show came to me when they announced, one of the hosts announced about Fernelli coming on stage. I'm like, all right. So some dancers showed up, and then Savannah Stevens, who is a local performer and a local, she's our, actually she just stepped down. She was our reigning Miss Gay Arizona America. So she came out and did Cher, and she does Cher fantastic. She also does Reba. So came out, did a song of Cher, and then a second person came out and did a second song of Cher in a different look. And then at one point, both of the Chers did a song together. And I was like, at some point, Fernelli's going to come out and be like Sunny or something is what I figured. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, the shorter Cher is Michael. And I realized, Italian, like you got that much going for you. So it was kind of funny to figure out that, oh, that is Michael.
That's funny.
So it was very funny. And I messaged him on Facebook and told him, I'm like, you did really well because I didn't realize it was even you. Because usually you can tell if somebody comes out. Like when he came out as Prince, come on. We know that's Michael.
Right.
But yeah, it was very cute and very funny. But the show went well. There was some, of course, every year, and the creativity in the costumes is nuts. Some people do crazy outlandish stuff.
Oh, well, the year he was Prince Purple Rain in the purple jacket, that hair and makeup was really good.
Yeah, but I mean in the crowd is what I mean for costuming. And at one point it was rather funny because typically we stand at the very back of that whole parking lot that they rope off for it, and just kind of observe from there, mostly because I don't want to be out with all those drunk people. So when we are standing back there, at one point I happened to see one person came in one of those inflatable T-Rex outfits. And they made their way through the crowd, and you can see because it's so fucking tall compared to everybody else, they had made their way through the crowd, and they were on one side of it. Well, a little bit later, a second person came in a T-Rex outfit.
I love when those things flock together.
And I'm like, wait a minute, let's see, because I don't think either one of them knew that either one of them was there. So they milled through the crowd. All of a sudden, you see them figure out they're both there, and they just jumped in front. It was hilarious. It was
that is funny.
It was very, very cute to see the two of them react. And I don't know if they knew each other or not, but the fact that they realized, oh, we're twins, and they just lost it.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
it was.
There's a video on social media about an entire family like meeting a school bus in those freaking costumes. That is adorable.
That is
I
cute.
think those
Very
need to be
cute.
everywhere.
It was very cute to see those. But again, some people are in crazy costumes. Others, I found out only the next day because obviously people were posting pictures the next day of their night before. There were some I'm like, I had no idea it was you. Like their makeup and their costuming was so good.
Yeah.
No clue. And there were several people who pulled off it looks, the Pennywise looks this year. Mm-hmm. Some were shitty, but others were like, oh my God, good. Like they were dead on with makeup and eye stuff and everything. They did really well. Several people did. I didn't want to be near them.
Yeah, it's a great time to have a clown costume.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with them still, but still I was like, wow, you did really well. Congratulations.
Good for you.
Yes. Forgive my distraction. I'm actually fixing 3 terminals in Chicago's Charlie's right now. Thank God for remote software. I feel like Marnie for payroll issues. Can we slip into obsession without the transition?
without the intro.
Okay, go ahead. We'll start with you, Kat. What are you obsessing about this week?
Obsession.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because it is your voice
it's
anyway.
my whisper. Yeah.
There
no,
you go.
It's me that made that.
There you go.
So I have a problem.
I think I have one too, but I don't know if it's the same problem.
It's probably not.
Well, apparently I've been cut off from that.
2 words. Demi Lovato.
Oh, I tagged you in a tweet.
2 more words. It's over.
Oh no.
What happened?
It's true. We have to break up.
Well, okay, 2 things.
Yeah.
You weren't together, and she doesn't realize your obsession with her.
Okay, 2 more things. She loves me. She's very sad about this development.
Oh, okay, good. Good to know.
And clearly she knows I've sent her letters.
I'm still waiting for Valerie Bertinelli to send something back to me from 1972
It could happen.
or whatever year it was.
Be careful what you wish for. Don't you watch Difficult People? Be careful what you wish for.
Follow her on the Twitter.
Anyway, so Demi Lovato has recently put out new music. Yeah. To which she paired a documentary
Oh,
and is going on tour. Good for her. Here's my problem. I watched the documentary.
Oh no.
you're not mentioned at all.
First of all, right. 2 things here. Not one time did that bitch say my name.
Not once.
I'm watching the video.
Well,
I'm watching the
groaning
video.
her. She could at least say
Right.
mine.
Right. I'm watching the video. I get about 3/4 of the way through, and I just start screaming at the TV, "Say my name! Say my name!"
It's a different song.
Even if it's just
If
a
no
pet
one is
cat.
around, you say, "Baby, I love you."
Yeah, even if she actually just shows up with a cat,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Right.
It counts.
No, and you know what? And it's wonderful that she's able to tell her story and the challenges that she's overcome. But I really just I got about halfway through this fucking thing, and it's only an hour long, so I got about 30 minutes in, and I'm like, ugh, this fucking girl. No, I'm just nope. She's too young and too dumb, and I'm over it. And Demi Lovato and I broke up.
Oh.
And I'm
Wow.
sad.
It's like we never knew you were together. It's
I'm devastated.
devastated. Yeah. Yeah, no, the picture that I think was it a Halloween costume that I tweeted she had posted or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, no, I did see that, and she is crazy hot, but also crazy, and also 10 years old.
I refer to
totally
that.
forgot she was 10 years old.
I refer to that, and I've told the story before. It's like it's dodging a bullet where you are. I've been infatuated with somebody, crazy infatuated, and a friend or somebody else swoops in and.
Yeah.
Then they start dating them, and then you find out, oh, I dodged a bullet because they're fucking nuts. I don't want
Yeah.
to deal with this shit.
Her own voice has saved me from a lifetime of misery.
Her voice has changed.
Just everything. No, you know what? Because she goes through this whole thing about how, she was basically a spoiled, shitty brat, and they, you know what I mean, and
Who
developed.
wasn't, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, sure, but not everybody makes a documentary about it. Like,
Right.
I have not put out an hour-long special trying to get people to learn from my lessons.
As me as a monster teenager.
Right.
Yeah.
I
gotcha.
certainly have not done that. And I don't know, I don't feel like for me it painted her in the
oh,
light that
Amina,
she
that's
wanted.
good. That's good. You're devastated. Oh, that's good, Amina. I like it.
That's funny. That's just funny.
Look at your YouTube channel. Amina, you forgot the O in this week's title.
Yeah, if you go to the YouTube,
Oh, it's
it
the
says-
Oh, it's the shrew. It's the shrew.
yeah, it does say SHW.
Did you find it? But did you die?
Yeah, but did you die?
I can't change it now because it'll fuck us all up and take us off air. But somebody will get to that immediately following.
I'm
Next
right on
week.
top of that, Rose.
Yeah, get on top. All right, what are you doing now? What's going on down here?
Plugging in more stuff.
God, I was going to burn down the studio yet.
For
God.
some reason,
Burning down the house.
you go through this whole not charging thing on this table, and I don't understand it.
I have
There it
a.
goes.
Oh, I heard it bling.
Yeah, but then it goes to not charging.
Well, maybe.
Not enough volts or
Oh, well, that's
watts or
that may not
amps.
be enough for an iPad. I have other chargers. Would you like another charger?
No, I'll just find some
Say
else.
yes, please.
It works eventually.
No, that's the charger you have to have for the iPad. The small one's for the phone. So swap. So to unplug.
Yeah, but this one doesn't always work. I end up having to plug it, and she's watched this weekly
I
for
have.
a month.
It's been a while.
I'm gonna go get my power brick and just.
No, it's absolutely fine.
And a lot of times those things don't work when you've got 2 devices, so why don't you unplug the phone?
No, this is the first time I've ever done it with the 2 devices.
Oh, all right.
But every week I go through the thing where
This
the battery
is-
dies, and I
For
tell
those
her.
of you not seeing this, we are devastated in the studio because Al's having trouble plugging electrical devices in to get
I
things.
gotta bend over.
Oh my God! And they're watching it. The full bottom half of the screen.
There we go.
Shows,
My fat ass.
Now let's see how many items are charging now, Al.
1. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. This doesn't affect it at all. But every week I go through this where it doesn't charge, and I say to her, oh my God, it's not charging. And then she asks me about a charger, and it starts charging again.
It's true.
It
We
really-
usually do that under you and
under
Marnie talking about other
Those
stuff.
things, yeah.
Oh,
We've
I
had
see.
this
It's how I
conversation
miss
like
it.
18 times.
It really is devastating. I'm gonna use that as much as
Devastated.
I fucking can.
It's just because she's so young and so broken.
Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
I call those beautiful disasters. There's
Yes.
there's
Thank
a
you,
guy.
Kelly Clarkson. Yeah.
There's a guy in town here. His name is Angel. We'll leave his last name out of it.
Sure, let's do that.
He's adorable, and I've just thought he was a beautiful for all the years I've known him. But I never call him Angel. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, beautiful disaster. And he's like, when are you gonna stop calling me that? I'm like, when are you gonna stop
When
being
you stop being a disaster.
Beautiful disaster.
Yeah. When either beautiful or disaster.
And
is.
but the funny thing is, he relents and he agrees they're correct. He's like, yeah, my life is always kind of a mess. And I'm like,
Yeah, I had
happens.
I had a big old crush on somebody several years ago, and everyone was like, "Really, that guy?" And I just didn't know what it was, like what I saw. I didn't know either, and then I heard that beautiful disaster song, and I'm like, "Well, that pretty much sums up the whole
it up.
fucking
Yep.
story."
Yeah, it is funny because Facebook's a wonderful thing with regards to that because you can peek in on their lives occasionally and realize, whew, God, I'm glad I missed that.
A little preview of what you were in for.
Yeah.
If things had gone a different
Things that,
direction.
whew, you are really crazy, and then you see who they really link up with, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You missed all this.
Alcohol does amazing things for
Oh,
people.
and there's a guy at work that I have such a fucking crush on. He works in a different department, but they visit occasionally. Well, they're supposed to visit every
called
fucking
security.
morning. Yeah. Well, they come around all the time, but the security people, we pet the dogs. That say do not pet across all of their collars, but
yeah.
they're so
Very
friendly.
good. All right.
They're so cute and friendly. But oh my God. So I worked these 5 days and I'm like 5 fucking shifts and I don't get to see this guy.
Oh.
And so this cute younger gentleman that I work with was laughing about it. He's like, it's so funny when he comes around. He's like, you act so different. He's like, you just lose all professionalism when he comes in. And I'm like, well, it's
professionalism.
and he's a really good. And I tell people, I'm like, it's like I designed a gay guy in a lab. Like he is
Everything.
exactly my type, like right down to the color of shirt he's wearing. And I'm like, it's a win-win for everybody. I'm like, I'm staring at him. He's got a crush on you. Everybody's happy. He's like, how did I get called in this? I'm like, oh, because if I'm working on the same pot as you, he stays longer so I can look at him looking at you.
Oh, so we have an unintentional three-way.
So it's a win-win-win
And
love triangle.
Of course, he's
there.
like, I'm a little uncomfortable with that. I'm like, it's okay.
But is he devastated?
Yeah, he's
He
not
might
devastated.
see.
I think he stopped at demi-flattered, but which kind of means half flattered.
It is semi-flattered, semicolon.
I guess I'm just obsessed with waiting for Stranger Things and when I was gonna have time to watch that.
Sure.
And this fucking Tri-Peak Solitaire that seems to occupy all my free time
Interesting.
when I'm not at work, and it's pretty much what's made me illiterate, because every time I pick up the iPad, I'm like, well, I guess I could play a couple more games of Solitaire. Or I guess I can half pay attention.
Nobody needs to read a book.
Do you think about Laura Branigan when you play solitaire?
Not at all.
Okay,
To me, she only had 2 songs, I guess, but
solitaire is one of them.
and then she had to figure out how to live with. Well, we had to figure out how to live without
How do I
her.
live with right? And then my head hurts and I'm dead.
Yeah, I told you singing that song would make your head explode, and it literally happened.
If people tell you aneurysms don't kill people, aneurysms do kill people.
I kill people all the time.
I'm not sure who says aneurysms.
I'm just saying if
I
anybody
watch a
does.
fair amount of fake medical dramas, and aneurysms
if
are always a
somebody's
problem.
around you that says that, do not believe them.
Back in the choir, high school drama club days of like everyone trying to sing different songs, and there was always a piano player, the conductor, the choir director. There was always someone around that would have sheet music to some dumbass song, and eventually everyone would get around to wanting to try to sing Gloria. And it's just, I mean, God bless her for getting that song done once, but it takes up so much oxygen and it's so much information and it's so fast. And I'm like, your head is literally, and I used to say that, like, your head will explode trying to sing that song. So when she died of an aneurysm, it was kind of wishful fulfillment.
Was she mid-song?
Yeah, exactly. Was she trying to hit that
Gloria! She's out.
She was a very talented
Awkward.
singer.
Speaking of people fainting, Wendy Williams, it was all over the interwebs today. Wendy Williams, in her live show today, passed out and fell down, collapsed in her show. She was in the midst of taping her live show, like at 10 o'clock this morning in Chicago, where she is. And there's video of it. It's all over the interwebs about it. She was dressed as a Statue of Liberty, and she was in the midst of, I guess, a costume contest. And apparently in the costume, what they're saying, of
Is
course,
it got too hot?
way hot. She was out of it, and all of a sudden she comes, like, was getting ready to toss to a break or something, and you could just see her eyes just go blank, and she went back and was down.
I think we need to cut to video of that.
Oh, well, I don't have it, but we'll get it.
Yeah.
We'll come up with that in a minute. Here's
Like, I'm gonna need to
by.
see that video pretty quickly.
Actually, can you messenger that to me whenever you get to it? Yeah. The odd thing that I'm obsessed is not, but I kind of have been fixated about it because I do not. This is going to sound funny, I think, because I'm torn on something.
Like your comedy routine
No,
funny?
not
Okay.
no, completely different.
You know, if you just change one word, it's funny.
Chunky is the fucking word. Chunky. It's like
Rhymes with monkey.
it's like going.
Stout.
What kind of jeans you had? I had husky jeans.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Oh, you could also. I think husky would also work in that
no,
joke.
Sears will get you for copyright infringement. I call her Wednesday Williams. No, very different. And it's funny that it took this person to do this for me. This whole thing with Kevin Spacey is really got me. I'm like, I hate it because I like him so much and he's so fucking talented and all these things. So this is like a 3-way whole fucking mess thing. I love him because he's talented and he's great. And I'm glad he came out, but then he did it under the cover of this news flush of yesterday's media and this allegation from a kid from 35 years ago,
Right.
and all this. And I'm like, ugh, I'm so frustrated with this whole situation.
Like, I was going to bring this up later, but we'll talk about it now. I have 2 big problems with this story. I don't not believe Anthony Rapp. I don't not think something bad happened to a 14-year-old. Like,
Right.
that's all very true. But on the other hand, like, it's a little bit of groping. It's a little bit, like, I don't think it makes Kevin Spacey a pedophile. Like, I think we've gone way too far on the accusations for a bad mistake. The other thing is, what is a 14-year-old doing at a grown-up party and then being left at this grown-up party alone for the after party with a drunk guy?
Oh, I didn't realize all of that was part of
Like,
it.
now we're in this weird, who lets their kids sleep over with Michael Jackson?
Right.
Not to blame the children, but, like, where's the adult responsible for this 14-year-old? Granted, they were both on Broadway at the time, so I guess it was a professional
Sure.
party, like a celebration of some sort. I have no idea. But then he was left. He stayed after the party ended with a drunk host. Who leaves a 14-year-old with a drunk host?
Hollywood.
No, New York, and it's
Or
New York
wherever it
City.
was.
Like, get in a fucking cab. So there's a couple parts of the story. Like, I really am bothered by him being labeled a pedophile because you don't know if, like, did
Right.
he know that one of his guests was 14?
Right.
Like, did he intentionally invite over a 14-year-old? I don't know. And maybe there's going to be more coming out in the story that leads you down that road. But I think automatically branding him as a pedophile, I think that's horrible. We don't know the situation.
Sure.
No sex happened,
Right.
like, by everyone's account. And I feel, and I almost believe him that I was like, it was the drunk end of a party. I don't really remember you.
Well,
Maybe I was drunk and hit on a guy or something.
I really, really don't think that the response to that accusation is
I'm coming out as a gay man.
right.
Absolutely
By
not.
the way, I'm gay. Like,
Right.
there's the problem that I have with it.
And there's my third drive down that road was
right.
ick on you for handling that.
Right. This
Just
is
go with, I
this
don't
is
remember
when
this
you're gonna go with
happening.
it. Yeah, I'm. You know what? If I did that, I'm sorry.
Because I thought the end of the statement was very sincere. I don't remember it, but if I
Sure.
did, I'm sorry. That's a horrible behavior to have displayed.
Right.
My apologies to you, and I'll try to
And
convey
this shouldn't be
that in
allowed
person.
going forward, and I will blah blah blah. to
But this whole
continue-
thing about shutting down the House of Cards to make sure everybody feels safe. You've been working with this guy for 5-6 years. Like,
Right.
who's unsafe in this story?
We're
that part.
jumping the shark a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
like,
right.
like
By the
that-
way, I'm gay and pass the potatoes, please. That's kind of what I felt with this whole thing, and I hate it. I just like the feel of any of it.
Yeah, which makes me. Is there some other story? Because this Corey, one of the
Feldman?
Corey Feldman.
Was he asking for $10 million? Is that what he's asking for? For this tell-all story that he's going to come out with?
Right, and now he's doing a GoFundMe to pay for things because of the damages to his career. But so we don't know who's going to be exposed in this one because a lot of Hollywood names. There's that director whose name I can't remember, who's kind of
I don't know.
always in trouble
Yeah.
with kind of underage, kind of like in the wrong end of the kiddie pool when it comes to parties. And I forget that director's name, and I don't want to say the wrong one and do the wrong name. But this just has, so far from this one story, it has a wrong feel about it. Like, why were you at 14 in someone's apartment that was drunk? Like, what are you, who left you there?
Right.
I'm not saying you went there, but who left you there and thought, okay, Anthony, enjoy the night. Like, you're not going to take you home to wherever you live, and you're on Broadway, so you clearly live.
Well, but on the flip side, it's usually people that we know, right?
Right,
that are
right.
the attackers. So, like, how close were they? Were they just acquaintances? Not saying that makes it better, but that
Yeah, right.
explains the 14-year-old in
in the house.
the house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
have they worked together for years? Do you know his parents?
Right, and everybody at the end of a drunken party,
Right.
aren't you supposed to hook up with that person? Isn't that why they stayed? I have so many questions about that. I just think and unfortunately, Amina, that's actually that's his name, Jacob. And yes, and Amina, that is the molested children often grow up to be molested, and bullies often
Hurt
grow up to
people
be
hurt
bullies.
people, right.
It's until someone breaks that
Intervenes.
cycle of abuse. That is exactly how that works. But I read that there was something about the brother, but I haven't read that much about it. I just read Anthony Rapp's statement, and I read the reply.
Spacey statement. Yeah.
Yeah, I read. Yeah,
Yeah. My whole thing with the whole with it was, you know what I mean? Like, oh, sorry that happened. I'm gay. I'm like, what? Who in your sphere decided that this was a good idea to respond this way? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think there was a publicist involved.
no.
for
And
sure.
the next step is check into rehab and just say you were drunk for everything,
right.
because that apology letter needs. I was drunk.
Somehow.
I need help. Like, you need to How to Get Away with Murder, that one, because it was so very poorly
yuck.
handled.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't.
But
And the other accusation.
and again, of course, I feel bad for Anthony Rapp if that was a traumatic experience
Right.
for him as a young man.
because it wasn't addressed properly.
Right. If this was something that happened to him as a young person that made him distrustful of men, gay men, people who
Being
leave him
on a
at
set or being
parties,
at a
like, you
party.
know what I mean? Like, when's the next time he went to a party where he didn't feel abandoned with a gay, you know? But there's just there's an ick factor to that story from all the grown-ups in the room that I
Right.
just can't get past. That rang of Michael Jackson's
Sleepovers with
accusers.
children, right.
Like, why did you leave your child with a middle-aged man for a sleepover? Like, what in what world besides attention does that make any fucking sense?
Very odd. Very, very weird to me.
The Kevin Spacey thing about being gay was an open secret. I have never heard anything inappropriate about him at all except for being gay.
I actually never even thought about it, and never occurred to me that he was.
Gay?
It's never ever crossed my mind.
Honestly, I didn't know that he wasn't out.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's been the worst kept
Oh, but
secret.
again, I never thought about it.
Yeah, since because he showed up to award seasons with his mom, award shows with his mother, and he was the Jodie. He was
It's
the
very
other
Jodie Foster. I was totally just going to say
Oh,
Jodie
very-
Foster.
He was the other Jodie Foster that at a time when his coming out could have been a big deal as a 2-time Oscar winner that was getting
and he
straight
didn't.
roles and had all this theater background where he was playing so many varied roles that it could have had a little bit of
He
impact
could
at
have
the
been
time.
more
Okay.
impactful 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Totally missed.
Probably
missed all
more
that.
like 15. There was an era where we needed some people's voices, and he and Jodie.
15 sounds about right.
Yeah, Jodie missed hers like 25 years
Right.
ago, but he was the next round where He could have been
and,
an ally.
And wasn't there another one? There was Jody, but wasn't there another one like 5 or so years ago that came out to him? We're like, thanks, but you could have done it 25, 30
Oh, that
years
was
ago.
Jody.
Was it Jody?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Jody when she turned 50 at the Golden Globes.
Okay, I thought
that's been a few years now.
Okay.
We're like, woo,
Thanks, but no
thanks,
thanks.
Jody.
And Ricky Martin too. Like, oh come on,
Wah,
girl.
wah, right.
I'm now thinking of Ricky Martin. Thank you.
Who's doing a lot of great things for Puerto Rico. So if
Oh
you're
my
a fan
God.
of Ricky
Well,
Martin,
he's doing a lot of great things, period. Like,
Yeah.
he's got the 2 kids he's now raising. He's doing the fundraising for millions of dollars for Puerto Rico. He's been doing all kinds of really good things. And, like, I don't know of any scandals of him either. Like, so good for him.
Yeah, and he was part of Menudo, so there's got to be some. That Menudo has an ick factor,
So
not just the food, but the actual
Right,
singing group,
the group,
also has
right.
an ick factor built in.
When you're-
of something that you age out of.
When your use by date is already stamped on your ass
Yes, yeah.
from when you were born, you're out at 17 and a half, kid. Come on.
That and I'm very worried about this. Corey Felt, is it Corey Felt? I never know which.
I think
Corey's
it's the
which.
Feldman.
I think it's Feldman.
Feldman is still alive. Yes, that feels right.
Yeah, because
Corey
Haim is
Haim
dead.
is
Haim
dead.
is dead.
Corey Haim is dead. Corey Feldman's story, because I mean, my world has been blown the fuck to pieces by finding out that Harvey Weinstein was a monster, because he's behind almost every movie I've liked over the last 25
well, but
years.
apparently it turns out if you've been watching Family Guy for the last however long it's been on, all of those jokes are already in there.
Yeah, totally.
Like, yeah, they've had like Kevin Spacey jokes all along.
Oh, Kevin Spacey
again,
was the worst kept secret.
How did I miss all that?
Season 1 of Difficult People was just how many horrible things can we say about Kevin Spacey in 13
I
episodes.
do love Difficult People.
Because I really wanted Kevin Spacey to show up and be there and be like, fuck
yeah.
you. Like, just...
Hamilton, Lin-Manuel did.
Yeah, he showed up to say fuck you to them. But that was about being gay. So we were...
Right.
I mean, no one was surprised that we all knew Jodie Foster was gay. We just needed... It was like, oh, god damn it, such a funny joke, too. It's like, Helen Keller, you gotta say the word. If you want the wah-wah, you gotta say it. I don't care if you spell it in my fucking hand, but you gotta say it.
Wow.
No, it's that Justin... I send you guys the clips from him all the time. The Internationals...
the Order of
Society
Sodomites. Yeah.
Right.
The Sodomites, the Order of
Sodomites,
Sodomites.
yes.
He's the one that talks about James Franco, that wants all the privileges of being gay without any of the responsibility. And he always rags on Queen Latifah. He's like, you can't go to the march unless you say the word, Helen Keller. We're gonna have wah-wah. He's like, you can spell it in my hand if you want to, but you gotta say you're gay.
If you want the toaster, you got to join the club. Come on.
Because she's gonna be because she takes it. She comes out and goes back in the closet like every other day.
Sure. Well, it depends on what her
Shows up at Pride festivals, waves her flag, points to her girlfriend, and then the next day she's like, I don't know any of you.
Listen, Dana Owens, we know you.
Oh my God,
Whoa,
she
look at you calling
she
out.
Donald Trumps that stuff all the time. She's always doing that shit of like, oh, I never had that meeting. I don't even know who that guy is.
Oh, I don't follow her either. Why do I not follow these people? Well, I guess because I don't really give a fuck. Pretty much.
That could be it.
Queen Latifah's a fun one though, because she's practically James Franco, where like the jokes are so open and obvious now. Like in that, what's the movie? Oh, it was really funny with all the celebrities that get caught in the sinkhole and they all get like dragged to hell.
Oh shit! I didn't see it.
And
but I
so
know
when
what
the
you're
guy
talking about.
the second act, a famous comedian comes on and like shows up at the house stoned, and he's like, "Well, by this part of the party, I thought James Franco would be sucking somebody's dick." And James Franco's sitting right there. Like that's the best part. Is like he's there for the joke. So
Readdressing the Wendy Williams passing out thing that Al had not seen. Let's show this little clip if we can. And this is courtesy Entertainment Tonight. So apparently she was on.
she looks good.
So it was a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
And then she's down for the count. And out. So Wendy Williams passed out today live on her set. And apparently medics showed up just about 10:30 this morning at the at the address of her studio. And she had been visited by other
I
people.
wonder about a little low sugar there too.
And then could be. And then apparently she was seen.
She was back up and at it though, and just said it was
Right, she was on her way out of the.
overheated.
Yeah, she was out. So they checked her out, said she was fine. She'll be back tomorrow to talk about all of it. Because now she'll be in her own dishing dirt, or what is it, that gossip thing? She always talks about people. So anywho, that was her little deal today. Good for. I guess she's.
And it's funny. You'll go see shows and you don't think of it till they're performing that you're like, oh, that's why the theater's so cold. These people are gonna they would
die.
actually be dead if
Right.
they were up there sweating like
Yeah,
that.
apparently she finished her show.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, they went to commercial. She did a little costume change and told the audience that was not a stunt. I overheated. I passed out. I'm good now. She said I'm a champ and I'm back, and seemed to have recovered in the episode as she was dancing around with fans in their own Halloween costumes.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for her.
She rallied.
Yeah.
She did.
She pulled an old boot and rally.
There was one year where I was thin and in shape, and we were doing the Halloween show, and I picked out a costume for my like finale number, and it turns out there was no clothes involved in it. Like, it was just a corset with like this body stocking over it, and like as we were like cleaning up, and I was just getting like more and more miserable, and I was kind of drunk, and I was just getting colder and colder. It was a very cold night. And finally, like, Darren came up to me he had a heavy jacket in his car, and he's like, you realize you're walking around here naked all night? Like, you realize how cold it is? And I'm like, I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good. Like, I couldn't make this work out of my mind because I never dress like
Right.
this. So I couldn't make the leap of like, what the fuck? Why can't I feel my fingers and toes anymore? And
Well, all right, boys and girls, we're going to continue on. Hour 2 is about to start. We've got what are you doing? We have to do our headline tease.
No, I know. I just want to know. Do you think she wears a wig? Because that'll do it too.
Oh, it's hotter than
Wendy
shit in there.
Williams?
Of course, that's
Yeah.
a wig.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I mean, if you think about that, too,
I'm pretty sure when she hit the floor, it popped
Yeah.
off. Somebody took 3 guys to rush up to suck it back on her head.
Has dispenser broken too.
Exactly, something like that. All right, let's do a little headline teaser before we get out of this hour. It's Q Talk America. Oh, where's my cursor? God damn it, here it is. Oh, here we
Fuck! Was that your cursor?
go. Nope. Oh, plastic is not fantastic.
Row, row, row your boat.
Some guy quits Congress.
A minivan with a pool on top.
How the hell did my tab get to be that much?
Fox News complains about their own coverage.
And a fundraiser for a cat that needs a butthole. And I'm not making it up. These stories and many more exciting things coming up. It's hour 2. Q Talk America comes back. Oh, I have another teaser I have to talk over. We'll do that. There's so much going on. The outro for the hour, and it sounds like this. Gotta tighten those little things up. We'll be back. It's Q Talk. Stay right where you are.
Well, I had another headline to go, so.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Hit the right button, Clayton. We're back.
Yeah. You're doing really well so
It's all
far.
right. I've been producing this show for 5 years. We're going to get through it somehow. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hour 2 is just now kicking off. Kat Carlson and Al Perkins, myself. Marnie has the night off. It's Halloween in the old America, and not one single person has been to my door requesting candy this evening, and I am happy about it. Mostly because if you look at my front yard, where's my cursor? There it is, right here. I gotta quit asking you that. My front yard looks like this. It's got caution tape and no lights on in front, so
Says it all.
says it all. Says, get the fuck away from my house. Get off my lawn. Don't cry for me,
You're
Argentina.
officially that guy.
Kind of says dead body inside, too.
Right.
Could be. We're not sure.
It also says that kid that moved away is going to be like rumored to have died in here.
Yeah.
All right, here's headlines on a Tuesday night. Well, a photographer has captured the damage being done to the planet's oceans with a shocking sea of plastic and styrofoam image taken near the tranquil Caribbean island. We've talked about this before, the island of plastic. These are stunning pictures.
Oh my God.
Of how large the area, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't somebody say it was like the size of Texas?
It literally is. There's
Huge.
satellite
In the Indian
imagery.
Ocean, yeah.
So Caroline Power, who specializes in underwater photography, has dedicated her career to highlighting the damage plastic waste is doing to our ocean. She said, witnessing the plastic blankets of forks, bottles, and rubbish between the islands of Rotan and Cayos, I don't know if that's Cochinos, off the coast of Honduras, she said was, quote, devastating. To see something that I care so deeply for being killed slowly and being choked to death by human waste was devastating, she told the Telegraph. Once the trash is in the ocean, it is incredibly difficult and costly to remove. The key is to stop the trash before it enters the ocean. Another picture like this is underwater looking up through it. So it's just massive, and it kills me.
That's not even the like trash vortex in the Pacific. That's not nearly
That's not
the
it,
size of that.
Right.
Because
So-
this is still letting light through. This is just
Right.
plain old trash. This isn't all of that trash that's trapped by the
Right.
currents.
And this isn't the whole size of Texas, but look at how much crap.
Right.
It's just astounding to me. She says in order for this to happen, we need to improve waste management, environmental education, and recycling facilities on a global scale. She said this is a developed nation, meaning a first world problem as well. The worst of the rubbish the dive team found was about 15 miles off the coast of Rotan, heading towards the Cayos Cochinos Marine Reserve. She says we were on a dive trip. Hang on, let me get off of that. Where did I go? Thank you. There we go. We were on a dive trip to set to a set of islands that don't quite break the ocean's surface, and there are one of the most pristine dive sites in the part of the Caribbean. She said the photo of the diver in the water was actually over one of those sea mounts. To see an area that is supposed to be pristine, covered in garbage, she said was just completely disheartening. She says they passed through floating garbage for nearly 5 miles.
Ugh.
Everywhere we looked, plastic bags of all shapes, sizes, chip bags, Ziplocs, grocery trash, snack bags, other packaging. Some were whole and the rest were just pieces. Sadly, many turtles, fish, whales, and seabirds all mistake those bits of plastic for food. They eat them and they die. When we reached the area about 2 miles wide that had multiple trash lines that stretched from horizon to horizon, she said. It's crazy. You hear about it, but when you see pictures and you realize when you've got a boat, you realize the size of a boat and the size of a human next to this image, you realize how ginormous it is. And I'm just hopeful again that the kid, and I think we've talked about it before, the young kid who developed the apparatus that spreads out over the ocean, and it's powered by sun, and all it does is it skims the top. And it doesn't trap is it called flora?
Yeah.
It doesn't trap the flora, but it picks up all of the plastic. And the success rate that he's had with it is phenomenal. And he's hoping, I want to say there was like a 15-year, maybe I'm wrong on that, but there was some sort of a timeline that he had said that even if we start now, it's going to take that long to get all of it out of there. But I just hope
And then once you get it, what do you do with it, and how do you cut down on plastic?
Well,
how do you get people for the convenience to stop with
Right.
plastic? Because even your most well-intentioned person who gets the smallest container, the least plastic, and recycles, it still ends up in the wrong place.
sometimes, but
a can,
well,
a can for recyclables falls over, the wind takes it, stuff ends up places.
The other thing that I thought I had shown on this show some time ago in Baltimore, Maryland, I believe it is, the trash wheel, which it's a part of the harbor, and it's got lines that spread across the mouth of the harbor so that none of the trash from the city ever makes it out. It's in the water, it floats to it, and then it's solar and
was
water.
An amazing story.
And it all picks it up all on its own. And I even sent a link to that. Actually, I think I tweeted it to SRP, who has, here in Phoenix, we have a series of water irrigation canals that traverse the city. And I had sent them a thing about it saying we should have that in the canal because there is so much crap that people throw in the canal. Aside from shopping carts and televisions, every water bottle, people walk by the canal, they throw it in there, plastic bags and all this other stuff.
And I would say anybody that has like public assistance or needs just skimmer. Take a pool skimmer out there.
Right.
And help clean up parks and the waterways.
But if they were to put an apparatus like that across the canal, it would snag all of that stuff rather than it just floating on and on and on down the canals here in town. I'm sorry, Amina, what is that wet cement? What are you talking about? I guess I'm...
Your screenshot out front, she's asking, do you have wet cement because of the caution tape? And the answer is no.
No. It just, who knows?
We just hate children here at the show with Clayton McKee.
I think hate is a hard word. Hate is a little bit much.
We don't want children within 100 feet of the show with Clayton McKee.
Has nothing to do with restraining orders.
Yeah.
No. But in an effort to clean up the world of all of its plastics, I'm sure Kat Carlson is going to share a story of cleanliness somewhere within the headlines.
Wow, that's working hard. But
you clearly weren't working on the segue, so I tried to do something.
Were you trying to segue to me?
Yes, because you're next.
Am I? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's true. I am next.
My God, is this your first week?
No, I was chatting in the chat room over plastic.
Yeah, I think
bags.
Finish your comment. That's good. We're not that big of a hurry.
Speaking of C.
See there, I needed something. All right.
I got you. I just didn't realize it was my turn.
All right.
Because I forgot that we go counterclockwise. I thought it was going to go to Al. Don't know.
Clockwise to me if I'm 6 o'clock.
So. I don't even know.
Still clockwise.
Don't even know.
Can't do it.
I was told there would be no math.
How many clocks are in this house?
Speaking of the ocean, I've got a great story. 2 women, 2 dogs, adrift at sea for more than 4 months after storms damaged their sailboat. And then they're rescued by the Navy about 900 miles southeast of Japan. Sounds like a wonderful, heartwarming story of survival.
Right.
And
unexpected vacation.
Right. Just must have been a harrowing ordeal, but
potentially an insurance fraud story. I'm not sure where we're going with this.
I'm not sure where this is going at all.
But it's your story,
and it's my story.
You're owning it.
Hopefully, you'll know when you finish reading
but it seems a little fishy. Here's why. So first of all, throughout this entire article, there's only get comments from one woman, which always makes me suspicious when there's like one really like out there spokesperson. Right? Because a lot of times when you're telling a story, like you've been trapped together for 4 months.
The story should match.
Right. First of all, the story should match. Second of all, y'all ought to be finishing each other's sentences by now.
Oh, yeah. Right.
If one of you wasn't a hostage.
Or if one of you wasn't eaten.
Okay.
And even the hostage would know what the other one was going to say because you've heard it a few times.
So, in any event, these 2 women have been rescued in the Pacific Ocean outside of Japan. And so in a conference call with reporters, the one woman, Jennifer, she said, well, their boat had been sending distress signals for 98 days. She said they sent up like 10 flares when they could see other ships, but nobody came to rescue them. She said, I could see light and I could see vessels and watch them get closer and thought they would get close enough to do like a radio call or shoot some flares and hail it, but nope, everybody just kept turning away, she says. And then they saw the Navy ship on the horizon, and she says, it was the most amazing feeling because we honestly did not believe we would survive another 24 hours in our current situation. Okay.
Dire. Dun,
sure.
dun, dun.
Things are dire. Now, hang on to that for a minute. Put a pin in that. Now, subsequent interviews...
Very nice, Rachel. I got that. Stick a pin in that. Thank you.
Stick a pin in that. Subsequent interviews with the Coast Guard and their review of the incident... Jennifer confirms that they had an emergency position indicating radio beacon. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Or they abbreviate it here with the initials. It appears to not be pronounceable. It'd be EPIRB.
Right.
But they could have flipped that switch and been found the
Right.
next day.
But they never turned it on. Now, why not?
Do tell, Kat. Do tell.
Jennifer tells the Associated Press that in her experience, the beacons should only be used when sailors are in imminent danger and could die within 24 hours.
So they were about to turn it on?
Look at your pin. Go back to your
Go
pin.
back to your pin.
What did we just put a pin on? It was the most amazing feeling because we honestly did not believe we would survive another 24 hours. Shouldn't you have turned your beacon on?
Right. Even at 36 hours out. Come on.
Listen, bitch, if the internet goes out, I'm turning that beacon
Oh,
on.
right. I'm going to scream.
Right. If I can't get internet access out there,
And didn't,
turn on the beacon.
And you know they renewed their, well, they probably had auto pay for the Netflix. That's fair.
You know what? Netflix will only let you download so much. That's too much. Too much. They're gone too long. Anyway, she continues to comment and says our hull was solid. We were floating. We had food. We had water and limited maneuverable capacity. And all those things did not say we're going to die. All that said, it's going to take us a whole lot longer to get where we're going. Now, where were they going? They were trying to go from Hawaii to Tahiti.
Oh, that's a long way.
That is a long way. They had planned an 18-day trip at moderate speed and then planned to explore the islands of the South Pacific for up to 6 months.
So they were prepared
Sure,
for 98 days.
they were prepared for a long time. Now, things apparently started going wrong on the very first night of their voyage.
The
When
very
they could still
first. I can see the island
Yeah.
from here. I can still see land.
Now, they claim they got into a Force 11 storm, and it lasted 2 nights and 3 days. Now, weird. The National Weather Service in Honolulu tells the Associated Press that there were no storms. No storms to be had.
I'm going to write that down.
In
No
days
storms.
before
Okay.
or
after.
Okay. Well,
They even looked at the satellite images and confirmed there were no tropical storms around Hawaii that day.
but we can see them.
There's Susie sunbathing.
Jennifer seems surprised by this. I'm pretty sure there was a hostage situation here.
Seems surprised, Jennifer.
Yeah. Jennifer was like, what do you mean there was no storm? We mean there was no storm. We have science, Jennifer. Science!
Yeah, still exists.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So now, again,
So, yeah, the
how
story-
long were they out there?
4 months.
4 fucking months.
4 fucking months. They had. Now, the Coast Guard says that had they turned their beacon on, they'd have been found pretty quick
Sure.
and rescued. Yeah. They're just, you know what? Your ship's not working anymore. Why don't you call for some freaking help?
And now were they just adrift because they run out of petrol, or how were
was
we
it a
working?
sailboat?
Were they sailing? Like,
So they got caught in the storm.
Christopher Cross was with them. They were
Caught in the storm.
sailing.
Now, part of the reason that they were so stranded is because apparently
We were
in the
so stranded.
but apparently in the storm, in air quotes, their antenna was damaged, and so they thought they had like so many 100 feet or 100 miles or whatever of bandwidth, right?
Sure.
So they could call to other ships and other places
Sure.
on different frequencies,
Right.
but apparently they only had like 1 mile or one,
Right, much smaller. Diminished.
Much-
They had
much smaller.
degraded radio service.
Yeah, they sustained damage, which left them worried about the boat's ability to stay afloat. I think it was a sailboat.
but by 96 days,
Right.
aren't you like, I think
At
it's gonna
some
stay afloat?
point, right? I feel like we should just keep on this story because it's just not adding up right.
Right. There's a there's a lot of stories in the news right now that just don't add up.
Just not adding up, and they don't even mention their dogs. You're trapped on a boat.
Oh, that's right. I saw.
freaking
They had
dogs.
dogs. How the fuck did dogs make it
Right?
4
How
months?
did 2 women and 2 dogs live on a boat for 4 months? The one woman doesn't talk
And nobody peed.
to anybody,
Well, the boat had a bathroom.
and no mentions of the dogs. I don't know. It's not.
Because if
very
you're
clear.
taking off and you've got, let's say you're taking 6 months of dog food, you're going to have a second boat for dog food.
yeah.
A
But my problem
dinghy.
is, no matter how far you planned, on your way between these islands, you were planning on stopping somewhere.
Sure,
to,
for supplies.
Yeah,
right.
supplies to
Right.
a mango here, a turtle.
Well,
soup
sure. It was
there.
supposed to be
2
like
turtle
18
doves.
days
Yeah.
of long sea, and then 6 months of tooling around and looking at coconuts. I guess I don't even know.
Yeah, that is a very suspicious story. I would like you and your
It's-
investigative reporters to stay on that, would you?
You know what? We're gonna watch
Stick a pin in
watch
that.
this space.
Watch this.
Watch this space.
Nicely done.
Oh, but luckily the 2 cuckoo crazies have been.
And we never got
Rescued.
a peep out of the second girl. That's really how this story is at this
No
point.
comment, she said.
No
No comment.
Wow. Yeah, it's very suspicious.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would like to have been at that press conference. I have a question.
Right. Can I have 2 follow-ups, please?
I have questions.
What'd you feed the lions? Oh, that's a wrong story about a boat. My bad.
I loved that movie though.
Jeb Hensarling. Jeb! He will not seek re-election. So Texas Republican
He will not.
Representative Jeb Hensarling. Jeb! The powerful chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. So again, no schmo here.
Wait, so we've got another.
Apparently not too powerful.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well,
Carry on.
for another year, he will not seek re-election in 2018.
Okay.
Jeb, who represents Dallas, hails from a Republican-heavy district. His departure may not open an opportunity for Democrats, but it does represent another prominent GOP member of Congress who was chosen to call it quits during the tumultuous early days of the Trump administration.
Tumultuous.
In an email sent to his supporters, he said that it was never his intention to make congressional service a career. Although service in Congress remains the greatest privilege of my life, I never intended to make it a lifetime commitment, and I have already stayed far longer than I had originally planned. Huh? You just ran for it's 2-year terms. You can back out of this deal every 2 years.
You can just quit anytime you want.
This lease ends pretty abruptly.
It's not like you're stuck in a boat in the ocean somewhere.
Right.
With emergency beacons.
Yeah. He's setting up his flare now. As chairman of the Financial Services Committee, he is a key player in the ongoing negotiations by Republicans to reform the American tax code. In his statement, he promised that despite his decision not to run for re-election, he has every intention of working to make sure tax reform passes the House. So this is another one of those stories of, like, where are you going?
What's wrong? What's wrong with this story?
What is it that you don't like that you can't rerun on? Like, what are you afraid of in 2 years? Like,
or what scandal has now come up? What's bubbled into the surface?
Sometimes I wonder if all of these like courageous guys that are quitting all of a sudden are a little bit on the take, and they're afraid that if they just continue on, they're eventually going to get busted.
Probably so.
Like, get out while you still can.
Yeah, like there's something deep, dark lurking here.
If I get out, they'll stop asking questions.
What? And it may not be like nefarious Russia stuff, but what is it that you don't want people digging up on you?
Right. How long have you been paid off by some other city council member to do whatever?
By somebody somewhere when
Right.
Crazy Tea Party's going to come after you with everything they've got and make shit up and try and ruin your life. Like, what nugget of truth is there that they can do that with?
And this one's a close friend of Mike Pence. So does that add to it? Like, is this part of the
they're going to come out as gay.
Line? But because you get to pick.
Like Kevin Spacey Rebellion.
The only way that Paul Ryan moves up in succession is if the president and the vice president die at the exact same time. If Trump goes out, Pence gets to choose who he wants to replace him, and then it has to be voted on by the Senate. So it's not you don't automatically everybody moves up one position,
right?
Except for the vice president. So if he's this good of a friend, is he getting out to do his part for a 2020 campaign as VP?
Oh, I
Since
see where you're
he's
going
in a
with this.
powerful position. He's from Texas. He carries a state. Like, there's nothing in this guy's history, including being friends with Mr. Squeaky Clean but horrible Mike Pence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just has a ring of, again, put a pin in this one too. This one has a ring of intrigue to it. Like, he's a young looking man. It doesn't say how old he is, but he doesn't look old enough to, like, unless he's just going to go work on K Street and make a fortune.
What's his name again? Jeb !
Harnsling? Hensarling.
I love that my device listens, even when we mispronounce it all.
I like that Amina has brought up the possibility that the dogs were holding the women hostage on the boat.
I know.
We just have to look at all possibilities.
Listen, it's 2017. Anything's possible.
Because those fucking poodles are bitches.
For real. So, Jeb!
Jeb!
Hensarling?
Hensarling. That's how I decided to go with him. Hensarling? I
don't know. He is
dogs.
60 years old.
Oh, he's young.
6-0.
So no, but well preserved. So I
he looks younger than 60 for sure.
So 60, that's a good time to get out.
I had him pegged at a 48
well,
based
that
on
makes
his
sense.
photo.
I mean, if you're Pence, you're going to go for some younger trade. I mean, think about it.
Right, yeah. If you're on the DL,
Gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, if you're on the
just
DL.
now. I don't
If
know
you're
what
on
we're
the
talking
DL,
about. It gave me
you're
the
getting young, fresh
heebie-jeebies.
They're both
chicken.
looking for parties where 14-year-olds are left somewhere in a drunken stupor.
I don't know. Yeah, it is interesting to watch this kind of like mass exodus of like powerful Republicans.
Yeah, a big player. Like chairman of a committee is a big fucking
Is a
deal.
big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to find out that Mueller's really reaching out to a lot of people.
And that could be like there could be a ton of people.
Especially if they were working on the
about to
campaign.
fall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That they
And Papadopoulos has been talking for 3 months.
Well, and you know, right now Mueller has authorization to investigate the Russian meddling and other matters as they arise.
nice. Yeah.
So
Clean house.
if he starts to find out that maybe like there's all kinds of dirty dealings in the RNC, then all of a sudden that spider web's out
Oh, yeah.
all the
Right.
fuck over the place. We can only hope.
Keep
And
going,
remember,
Bob.
Whitewater got us to a blowjob. Like that's
Not for
Well,
everybody.
sure.
Not for everybody.
But the
Right.
impeachment over the blowjob is that started with Whitewater like
Yep.
several years earlier. Like
Yep.
it's just when you're digging into people that aren't doing good things.
Make good choices, kids.
Yeah.
Make good choices.
Well, speaking of lousy choices, let's go with this next
Hey!
story. A mother in Wisconsin is facing felony charges of recklessly endangering safety after she allegedly strapped her 9-year-old son to the top of a minivan who was on top of a plastic pool. Amber Schmunk, oddly, her
the
real name,
traditional spelling.
Yeah.
SCHMUNK, Amber Schmunk, 28 of Fredonia, Wisconsin, was charged earlier this month for the September 9th incident, which started after officers received a call reporting a child on top of a vehicle holding down a plastic pool, according to the Ozuki Press newspaper. A witness later reported seeing Schmunk pull over and take the child off the minivan roof and wedge the pool inside the vehicle before dropping it off at her sister's house. This according to WTMJ TV. Now, officers who arrived on scene questioned Schmunk about her son's alleged wild ride. They said that she admitted the boy had been on top of the minivan on the road, but only for a short time. She says maybe 20 to 30 seconds. How? No fucking way.
Yeah.
Schmunk allegedly told the authorities that she had picked up a molded plastic pool at another house, but didn't have enough room inside the minivan to transport it. She allegedly said that she, quote, decided to put the pool on top of the minivan, but had no way to strap it down, so she had her child climb on the roof and hold it down while she drove. This according to the police report.
That's just a smart division of labor. I don't see the problem here.
Police-
Listen, kid, you can't drive, so you have to hold the pool. That's
He wanted the pool. He had to do the work.
Police
the breaks.
said Schmunk told them that she thought her actions were okay since her dad let her do things like that when she was 9 years old. She added that her son was safe on top of the minivan, that she tied him down with a strap on top of the pool. This according to WDJT TV. Now, Schmunk is due in court November 14th. Now, if convicted, she faces up to 5 years in prison and 5 years of extended supervision. This again according to the Ozuki Press newspaper. So I'm going to keep my stick a pin in her. I want to follow up on Schmunk and her November 14th court date.
You know what? Here's what I want to know.
I thought there was gonna be water in the pool.
If you
That's
have-
when I initially saw the headline, that's what I thought.
you know what? That's actually really heavy. The minivan probably wouldn't haul that.
No, the roof would probably cave.
it'd
Yeah.
Probably dent your
'Cause water-
roof or
You're
break
ruining
your
all the
suspension
fun of the
somehow.
story.
I know.
No, but so can you see this kid sitting on a
I
pool
thought of it
strap,
as an exotic trip through beautiful Wisconsin.
and as you rounded a corner, slosh,
Slosh,
Yeah.
slosh. Yeah, that
windshield wipers going.
We've all tried it in the pickup truck, and it just gets
Oh,
too heavy for the suspension. You
100%,
can't go
yeah.
anywhere
100%.
with that little 4-cylinder engine on the Toyota. You just, a friend told me.
A friend, right? Seems fair.
Well, speaking of bad ideas, Samuel Adams has just released a $200 beer that's illegal in 12 states.
Ooh.
That's
Is
right.
Arizona one of them?
Our good friend. You know what? I don't know. I didn't read that far.
In fact, you need to
I
check
only
on
read
that.
the headlines.
She
and then I
might know
just
by
bring
the
it
end
in.
of the story.
Yeah, we might read if she reads the whole story. My bad. I sit corrected. Go ahead.
I didn't vet these stories.
Who does?
Who does?
Who does?
Well, if you're a fan of high alcohol content beer, you're going to want to try Sam Adams Utopia's Craft Beer, an extremely rare and highly alcoholic barrel-aged beer that they only make every 2 years.
How high is it? I figured we needed an audience participation portion.
You know what? Your stand-up career is really taking off.
You know what You know what my stage name's gonna be? Chunky.
Chunky McKee.
Look at that.
It's got a
good ring to
Mick
it.
Chunky.
Yeah.
I'll be Mick Chunky. Oh, there's that.
Well, hopefully this beer's not chunky. The brew is 28%.
Wow.
28% alcohol
Holy
by
fuck.
volume beer. Now, your average beer is about 4 to 5%, right? Your Bud Light's like 4.2%. 28% alcohol by volume. And comes with a $199 price tag. It's so alcoholic, it's banned in 12 states.
I don't understand the pricing. That's nuts.
I don't even know. Well, they start with a blend of 2-row pale malt combined with Munich and caramel.
Caramello.
Caramel. if you will.
Caramello. Available.
No
not
tango
at my house.
caramello.
No tango.
All of that gives the beer its deep ruby color.
Oh.
Then 3 varieties of German noble hops are added to the balance for the malt's sweetness. Once the beer is brewed, special yeast strains are added, including one that's usually used in the making of champagne, and a, quote, ninja yeast, which can survive a highly alcoholic environment.
And can sneak up in your house
Right.
in the middle of the night.
Wears a little mask and
Yeah.
I don't know, a little black V-neck shirt. Ninja.
Clearly.
That's who scrapes the yeast from the vagina to make the lady beer.
Gosh, we're back to that beer.
Jim Koch, the founder of the Boston Beer Company, says, my original idea for Utopias was to push the boundaries of craft beer by brewing an extreme beer that is unlike anything any brewer has conceived. I'm proud to present to drinkers this lunatic fringe of extreme beer worthy of the Utopias name. This year's Utopias is a blend of multiple batches, some of which have been aged up to 24 years in a variety of barrels.
I've been working on this a while.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like this beer was born out of a couple guys wasted in the back room. I bet we can make a beer as 24% alcohol
We'll
in
make
it.
beer as strong as vodka.
And then they started it.
They're almost there.
Yeah, true.
Almost there.
I like the little champagne part though. Maybe that makes it. I don't know. Does that make
I'm
it
a big
fun?
fan of ninja yeast. I need to find me some ninja
Well,
yeast.
if you a good champagne should taste a little bit of toast.
Mm-hmm.
Should have some notes of toast to it because of
Oh,
the
I
yeast.
didn't know that.
I smell toast.
Yeah, you should, and you should when you're drinking champagne. 'cause-
Wendy Williams did earlier today.
Yeah.
Well, this particular special brewing and aging process delivers a non-carbonated beer, since the high alcohol levels destroy any CO2.
Oh my God, the first victim was with CO2.
The final product tastes more like a rich vintage port, old cognac, or fine sherry with notes of dark fruit, subtle sweetness, and a deep, rich, malty smoothness, according to a statement from the brewery.
And mild shoe leather.
Because of this, they recommend drinking it in 1-ounce servings instead of like a regular beer.
Oh my God! Can you imagine drinking the whole goddamn?
So you're gonna do a
and how
shot.
many? Now wait, how many ounces? Is it a 12 ounce?
It's gotta be.
How many ounces is the can or the bottle or whatever?
You know what? It actually doesn't say.
Wow.
I don't know what the size that you're buying is.
Well, I'm not. buying
But I can tell you, to answer your initial question, because of its high alcohol content, it legally cannot be sold in 12 states, including
Oh, the list continues.
Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Mississippi, Montana, New Hampshire, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vermont, and Washington.
Not Arizona.
Not Arizona, and interestingly enough, not Utah,
Right.
which is very interesting because there's a term that, Utah beer, which is a real thing because most Utah beer is in the like 2 to 3% range. It's damn
So
near.
is NyQuil.
It's damn near non-alcoholic
Do you
beer.
enjoy NyQuil?
Yeah. Now those laws did change in like 2001 ahead of the Olympics. They changed their liquor laws dramatically because the world was coming
Yeah.
and the world likes to drink.
Yeah. I'd like to buy the world a real beer
Right.
and teach it how to sing.
I agree. But yeah, if you're looking to drop $200 on a nearly undrinkable beer, see Sam Adams.
And here's some people that are drinking at home. Fox News employees say their network's Russia coverage was an embarrassment.
What?
Some employees at Fox News were left embarrassed and humiliated by their network's coverage of the latest revelation in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian election meddling, according to conversations CNN had with several individuals placed throughout the network. And I I like these stories, but we're gonna need a source. Like, this is one of those ones, like, get a name.
Yeah, well, because we're really deep into just trust us news territory. You know what I mean? Like, according to sources close to the story, like, somebody's going to have to start.
Well, finish your story and I'm going to chime in.
Yeah, so.
Because I've been watching this news.
Why wait till the end?
I want to know all of it.
A Fox News personality said in a text message, "I'm watching now and screaming, I want to quit. It's another blow to journalists at Fox who come in every day wanting to cover the news in a fair and objective way," one senior Fox News employee told CNN of their outlet's coverage, adding that there were many eye rolls in the newsroom over how the news was covered. The person said Fox feels like an extension of the Trump White House. The employee spoke to CNN on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Of course they weren't. A Fox News spokesman told CNN the network covered the breaking news accurately and fairly across both news and opinion programming. They did. Because the minute that broke, I turned right to Fox News. Because I was like, I know what our team's going to be saying. Well, let's go check in and see what the midget in the bikini's got to say.
Well, in Colbert's monologue last night, he cut to what they were covering.
Right.
And literally they did coming up the latest on Smub from Washington, and is your kid's Halloween costume safe? Like, they glossed over everything they did yesterday.
So on Monday, it was revealed that President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, and another associate, Rick Gates.
It's exactly right, Michael. It's exactly right.
Yeah, and they talked about emojis
the
with
hamburger,
cheese. Yeah.
The hamburger thing, yeah.
Had been indicted by a grand jury on 12 counts, including conspiracy against the U.S. Unsealed court records also revealed that another Trump associate, George Papadopoulos, had pleaded guilty to making a false statement to the FBI. The revelations jolted the news media, and Fox News, the highest-rated network in the country, did cover it as its top story. But in contrast with other networks, which aired nonstop rolling coverage throughout the day, Fox News found plenty of time to cover other topics like the NFL protests, North Korea, and tax reform. Additionally, Fox News aired segments that questions Mueller's credibility, and many were framed around how Trump and his allies were responding to the news. On Fox News' homepage, the lead story at one point was focused on Trump slamming the indictment. Another lead story cited Manafort's lawyer and asked Mueller's ridiculous claims. I mean, it was rough on there Monday morning. They were seriously found out their boyfriend was cheating and just did not know what to do.
Right. They freaked out.
They were running 16 different directions. And then Hannity's show, he had Laura Ingraham, just resident crazy bitch. Two Fox News opinion shows who are openly supportive of Trump tripping over themselves, saying Mueller's team has found nothing thus far.
They showed a clip of, that crazy bitch that was Judge Jeannie that's on there? I can't stand her.
She nuts.
They showed a clip of her yesterday, and she literally is sitting there saying, "We're done. This is over. He's crazy. Lock him up." Like, we're done. Like, she was like literally, like, if she'd have had a pitchfork and a tiki torch, she'd have been on the right plan for this. But I was astounded with what they came up with how this all
just soul free though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, isn't tax reform an important thing? It is, but not the way they're doing it.
Right. When the biggest story of the day is, like, we are just under. Actually, this is worse than Watergate from the standpoint of Watergate was internal to the United States. They're reaching across the pond to other countries to interfere, but so this is worse.
And this is the guy that Trump a couple weeks ago said, "Oh, he was with the campaign just briefly."
Oh, that's Papadopoulos.
No.
Manafort.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, he was acting like, "I think I met him once."
Right.
Like, oh yeah, he seemed like a nice guy.
White guy about yay tall. I think I saw him once. That was his story a couple weeks ago, where he was trying to sell it like, don't really remember him.
Sure.
And then as they brought it up, they're like, well, but he ran your campaign.
Totally.
In charge through the conventions.
Yeah. Pictures of you at meetings. He was on the stage with you during the convention. Yeah. Like, he was there in every aspect. And so was Papadopoulos.
The guy that I always forget his name. The second one, Rick Gates. Mm-hmm. Rick Gates. Oh, well, pictures of him everywhere. And they're acting like, oh, no, never met him.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was all years ago. Yeah, they're going to start with the little stuff so they can poke at them. Like, we got you for treason over here. Who can we trade you with? It's, it's.
Oh, and it goes to
if only he really was a friend to the gays, he would know that the I don't know her defense doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mariah Carey's been saying that for a while about everybody else, but we know you know her.
We know you know her.
Come on.
You know her.
it's been astounding. Now, I
What's
laughed.
this Mariah Carey story?
Oh, that's her whole thing. Like, anybody asked her about some other female singer, I don't know her.
I don't know her.
Haven't you not seen
Oh.
all the memes of her holding up signs or saying that?
Uh-uh.
That's her thing. I don't know her.
Yeah. What did she originally? Who did
What do
she
you think of-
originally say that
I
about?
thought it was
can't-
about Janet Jackson.
Was it Jackson or Beyonce? Somebody.
yeah, somebody.
It was.
I
It was
don't know
somebody
her.
like equal superstar
Yeah.
status, and Mariah Carey was like,
I don't know
I don't
her.
know her.
So that's always been a joke. Bitch, you don't know your words, but you know her.
Right.
Oh, well, good because everything comes back to Donna Summer, and something else is going to in a minute. When,
I'm happy about that.
yeah, when Madonna was taking over the like lurid, sexy, some band songs, and somebody asked Donna Summer like, "Are you happy to have the mantle taken off you? Since for a while you were the one with the
Love to
the
Love You
sexy
and-
image
yeah.
and the band songs, and like it was all too adult for the radio." And she's like, "Well, I really don't know much about her, but I hear she works really hard." And I just thought it was a funny thing of like, what? Not really a fan of what she's doing, but
Right.
I want to frame this in a
Right.
very nice way.
I don't want to say shit about her because
Yeah.
she's very popular.
But I was like, that's a nice thing to say. She works very hard. I hear so.
Yes.
Just like you always hear about Mariah. Everyone always says like
I don't know her.
that she keeps her shit together, and then she just goes home. Like they say, like
Oh.
anytime she has a breakdown, they're like, you got to believe the exhaustion thing with her because I guess she doesn't party. She has champagne to toast a thing or two, but I guess she's like clean living. She's just genuinely nuts, and and that like exhaustion thing
Yeah.
is that like she just works too hard. Like it's like finding out that Trump doesn't drink. Like you just assume that a lot of that has to be alcohol fueled.
Sure, you'd hope.
And you'd hope, and then you find out like, oh no, bitch is crazy.
No, it's just
Nuts.
crazy, right?
Yeah, he's off his
So
meds.
yeah, and I've it's one of those things that you hear about, you know, those little whispers that you hear about.
Oh, Nicki Minaj. Just started with Minaj.
Oh, that makes sense.
God, well, yeah, it does make
Because
sense.
of all the fighting
but they use it for everything
For
now.
all the things.
Anything to do with her. Oh, I don't know her.
I don't know her.
If somebody makes a comment about you and some friend, you're like, that's not I don't know him. Not my
Yeah.
friend. No, her.
I'll know you. I'll know your business.
In regards to the Papadopoulos, now number one, could you not have had a funnier name to have to be struck all over the place?
Oh, it's just delightful to say.
Learned this. Michael Beschloss, the MSNBC, NBC News presidential historian. Did you realize that there was a George Papadopoulos in the Nixon Watergate trial
Oh God,
as
that's
well?
funny.
Same thing. And he
No
was,
relation?
And he was also. I don't believe there's a relation, but also.
Or is the Papadopoulos clan just shifty characters?
It's
He
just
could-
it's,
the
it's
whole
the
fucking
Smith of the-
family.
yeah, it's the Smith of the Greek islands.
Except for the fact that they were all. There was also the name of the family in Webster. The Papadopoulos.
right.
Oh,
is-
that's true.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was he was also in the Watergate trial was also billed as non-important, like a gopher. He was a coffee go-getter. He was nobody important to the campaign, which is exactly how they're portraying Papadopoulos now.
Right.
So Michael Beschloss is like, it's funny how this is exactly the same.
Except for he's the one listening. Except for he's the one sitting in all the meetings that heard all the shit go down.
Right.
That they're like, "Fuck, was he at that meeting too?"
Yeah, damn it. Yeah.
Thought he was just bringing in coffee.
Well,
when-
and they've got to be freaking out because the thing with Papadopoulos is they arrested him in July.
Been talking a few months.
Stuck a wire on this motherfucker. You know they
we
did.
sure they did.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and then he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
calling people.
So now everybody is freaking the fuck out trying to figure out when they talk to him and what they talk to him about.
I know I got a light coffee with
gonna
2
get good.
sugars, but then I think I talked about treason. Let's see, green tea in Russia. Damn it!
I like a venti quad no foam treason. I like that. That's good. I enjoy that. Yeah, so it's been funny. Now the other thing was kind of funny to me. There's some pictures that they're showing of him, and I don't know if they pulled them from a website, if it's his Facebook, what it is. There's some bad skin issues with him. Now this is
Because he's 7 years old.
No, this is so superficial. So then there were some other shots they got of him where he kind of had a beard and he was dressed different and he's like on vacation somewhere. And I'm like, okay, he's a big mo. He's just a big mo because in a couple pictures he's kind of hot. And I'm like, okay, how did you get wrapped up into this kid? So, I mean, he's following the money too. He was trying to get himself slipped in here to figure out how he could make money off of this. That's the only thing I can think of. And now he's just in a world of shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he's
yeah.
really young. His resume is very short, and in fact, on his LinkedIn,
Barista? The
right,
campaign.
barista,
The campaign.
like
bike delivery.
no.
treason?
Seriously, on his LinkedIn when he joined the campaign was mock UN. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
Jesus
Christ.
It's
right.
this students thing that they do where
Totally
they like
forgot about
pretend to
that.
be the United Nations. It was on his LinkedIn when
So
he
it's
joined
Tracy
the
Flick
campaign.
from Election.
Yes.
Mock UN.
Sounds like an
Jesus
episode
Christ.
of Glee where they all tried to be Yeah. No, but I totally forgot. Yeah, that's right. He was in the Mock You In.
Yeah, and
But when
was still using it on his resume. is the
that's
thing.
hysterical.
Because he graduated 6 months ago.
That's like putting your lawnmower jobs on. Not
Those were
yours.
real.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no. I felt that dig.
No,
You almost spit. Cat Carl.
it landed a bit more pointedly than I meant it to.
God. Dissing my life as a lawn man.
That
I was
wasn't the
thin.
funny part. The funny part was those were real.
Mick Chunky wins again.
Sometimes you stand in the line of fire, you get hit by one. I can't help you.
Well, speaking of shitty jobs.
Oh wait. And Michael says he has a thing for Russian men. What's the lady Weir? You know how she's got such a hard on for fucking Russia? I'm
Oh.
surprised she hasn't skated into Trump's White House.
Well-
you know the lady Weir's going to be there somewhere.
Did you hear that the Lady Weir's going to be doing primetime commentary for the Winter Olympics coming up this year?
It just
Thank
gets better.
God.
It just gets better
It
and
does.
better.
She'll be wearing a shawl and a hat. And we'll be fantastic.
And what's her little girlfriend's
Very
name?
excited. I don't remember.
Nadia Comaneci.
Katie something. I don't care.
Her girl, who?
Lady Weir was doing color commentary with the girl skate.
Oh,
Yeah,
last
yeah.
Tanya not Harding.
Not Harding.
I don't know.
Oksana Bayul. I can't remember what her name is. That's a real person.
Laura's theme from Dr.
Oh,
Zhivago.
I can't think of her name. She won the gold medal a few years ago.
I did
Anyways.
nothing. I don't know her.
Well, she was next to the Lady Weir enjoying the
But
costumes.
how do you get past Weir? I don't know who she is. I'm looking at whatever frock he was wearing.
because she was dressed just as ridiculously. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah, no, they were.
Oh
fantastic.
no, they were coordinated. Those outfits were
Oh,
coordinated.
and they were lovely, and there was a whole Instagram thing that was
Oh,
so
my
much
God.
fun to watch.
it was like a double skate they had to do together.
Oh,
my
and no, yeah, because it looked like everything Liza Minnelli threw out yesterday, or ripped off of her gay husband's throat.
Tara Lipinski.
Tara
Tara
Lipinski.
Lipinski. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been named the leads for NBC
Oh,
Sports.
so they are
Yeah,
together
yeah,
again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Reunited, and it feels so gay.
They're a team effort.
Yeah, because they appeared. Oh, they do the Kentucky Derby every year. They
Oh,
do
sure.
the fashion
That
segment
makes a lot
for
of
the
sense.
Kentucky Derby.
That makes a lot
and
of
their
sense.
hats every year are hysterical. I mean, it's a train that's gone so far off the track that it's back on again. You know what I mean?
Right. It jumped the track, but found another track to go on.
Because
Right.
I remember at first because again, I was watching it at work because the overnights were always on, El Ocho if it's almost a sport, the networks of Universal. So they were not on prime time. They were on, it was NBC Sports, that station,
was overnights.
NBCSN.
Yeah.
Right.
NBCSN. Yeah, so it was on that weird sports network that they just got famous from everybody talking about it, being like, what the fuck
hell
is
is
this?
this?
Because if you watch the primetime coverage, it would be Scotty, I've got head cancer.
Right.
And red buttons.
Dead.
Dick buttons.
I don't care.
It's those two. So
Okay.
they would have the same skaters and somebody else would voice over the commentary for primetime because Tara and Johnny Weir only did the live with the
I was
guy.
say they were doing real time. And
They were doing
they
real
actually
time.
know what they're
And they
talking
would
about.
voice it over with the two guys, Scott Hamilton
Oh, Scott Hamilton.
and Dick Button, or where
Sure.
Peggy Lipton would jump in there. Peggy, what's the figure skater? 16.
Hamill? No, Peggy?
Peggy Fleming.
Fleming.
Peggy Fleming jumps in there too. But it
Wow.
turns out they were all
Guys.
voiceovers, and then they were getting so much attention from social media for their outfits and how good their commentary was. Like, aside from when you looked at them
The carnival act.
and you'd
they
be
were
like,
good.
what the fuck is that? Then you would go back and be like,
Oh, they were good.
they were really good color commentators. So they got bumped up.
Oh.
So by the end of the Olympics, they did a couple of prime times and they stopped overdubbing them and would
that's
actually show them. But it was like this dog and pony show at 5 o'clock in the morning in wherever the last Winter
There was
Olympics
this
were.
Sochi.
Sochi, yeah. But he loves all things Russia, and that's why he volunteered to go, even though they had the anti-gay campaign, and because he was married to the Russian guy, and as a Ruskophile or whatever, Russophile,
Yep,
whatever
you're
you
right
call
there.
it, that he was completely obsessed with Russia.
Oh.
So he went voluntarily and took that AM shift. It was crazy.
And
it was
wonderful.
It was just delightful.
Now, where are the Winter Olympics this year?
Why don't I know?
I
I
assume
feel like
Torino?
it's
No. That's a couple years.
Gran Torino?
I feel like is it Korea? Are they in Seoul?
Stand by.
Oh, actually, you might be right.
Pyeongchang.
Pyeongchang. Pyongyang. Isn't it pronounced Pyong? Isn't it?
It might be. It's spelled
Pyongyang.
Chang.
Oh, okay. I don't know then.
It's over there.
But it is in Korea,
Over
right?
there.
Yeah.
Over there. Yeah, so that'll be. Well, I'm curious to see how that works.
Yeah.
So weekly, we'll have to have a countdown of all of the images of them. We'll have to make sure we get pictures of the interwebs and show them. That'll be lovely.
Yeah, and it was funny to find out that we were all discovering something together, like that the internet was all coming together on the Lady Weir. And I was calling him something else, and it was actually Buddy Early who came up with Lady Weir.
Dubbed him the Lady Weir.
And I feel like that got picked up internationally. Like
think
the
so,
Lady
too.
Weir thing went global.
Well, off of our Frau Merkel.
Yeah.
And who else did we have? We had Frau Merkel. We had whatever we call the Queen of England, Betty.
Betty Windsor.
Betty Windsor.
Yeah, that's the.
And then there's the Lady Weir.
That's like Betty Windsor, as funny as I find that, is actually Amiston Moppet. I have to give him credit for that. For one of my favorite things ever, the Betty Windsor lookalike contest.
Oh. Well, let's look at this little story because it's not shitty. Look at this little cute guy. Look at him. Little
Oh my
kitty
goodness,
cat.
look at the kitten.
Look at him. Here he is in a school bus. He's very cute.
He's going to be so smart.
Here he is, another angle on a school bus. Well, that's Cluck the kitten. In many ways, Cluck is like any other 10-day-old kitten, sweet, adorable, and learning to crawl around. But in one way, Cluck is very different and has a life-threatening issue.
Oh, no. Does he think he's a chicken?
Nope. Born without an exit strategy.
Oh, no.
Cat has no butthole.
Oh, no.
Cluck, who was rescued from the Los Angeles streets with her mother and other members of her litter, suffers from a condition called imperforate anus. That means her urine and waste come out of the same hole, according to Sean Simmons of the Kitty Bungalow Charm School for Wayward Cats, which is a street cat rescue clinic
Am I the only one that just thinks that's efficient?
in Los Angeles.
A time saver.
Cluck's condition was discovered 4 days ago, and she needs an operation very soon, or she will die, Simmons says. Right now, she's nursing off of her mom, so waste is very liquidy and not an issue. But when the cat moves on to harder foods, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Simons is hoping to improve Cluck's prognosis by raising money for an operation via a crowd-rise campaign called, quote, Kitty Needs a Butthole, and it's right there online. It's
it a
completely legitimate. Simon hopes to raise $4,000 in the next week so that Cluck can get the anus she needs to survive.
We've got
They're already at
$9,300.
$9,300.
Oh,
Says,
Cluck is going to live.
Says, quote, we first need to get an MRI to see how extensive the problem is, and we need to see where her intestines actually connects. The surgery is risky, but Simons feels Cluck is a good candidate. She's gaining weight and seems healthy other than not having a butthole, according to the
If I
story.
didn't shit for 10 days, I'd be robust too.
As of Friday, last Friday afternoon, the Kitty Keister campaign had raised $465, which is good. But now we can clearly see they're up to over $9,300 as we went on the air.
What's this website? Let's get a live count.
It is. It's probably still about that. It's crowdrise.com. And then I'm sure if you just search for Kitty Needs a Butthole, you'll be fine.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Now, what cracks me up is one of the default pictures on the website. This one cracks me up. It's legitimate. I cannot make this up. This poor
little
kitten.
Cluck. Yeah, they're still at 9,300.
So, but still, that's twice as much as they wanted.
It's 2 buttholes.
Maybe save the
They
money
can
for
get
another
a group discount.
Yeah, he'll be a bowling ball
It's a group.
soon.
It's a Groupon for a kitty hole. Oh my gosh!
Oh dear.
But that was that funny story, and I can't believe that's an actual story. But I got it off of Huffington Post and then vetted. It's a real story, so that's kind of funny. Sad but true. Things that happen.
True.
There's that. Oh my gosh. Well, Al, I think we're getting ready to do your entertainment.
Do you have one more story? I have another
Oh,
story.
do you?
I can if we want more time. I cannot if we don't want more time.
No, go ahead, because we're a little short on this hour.
Speaking of things that I can't believe are a real story, Google CEO makes fixing the hamburger his top priority. We mentioned it already in the chat room.
Big priority.
But my gosh, emojis are ruining our lives, I think. They sure are. And you know what? The Google hamburger emoji most of all. So a lot of people...
I wish I had them to show.
Well,
I'll look them up.
But you could look them up. Sure.
I'll do that. You go ahead.
If only we had
I
a
don't
way.
even know where to start.
Shut up.
Apple.
No, I literally don't know where to start
Oh.
to find a Google cheeseburger emoji.
You can search your emojis, can't you? I can.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
no,
We'll
I
have to
got
look.
it. I
We'll
got
have
it.
to look. But anyway, so emoji just keep growing and growing, and so there's like proprietary differences between the emoji that you find on Apple devices and the emoji that you find on Android devices and Microsoft devices, et cetera, et cetera. Like everybody's got kind of their own little twist, right? Everybody wants to have the same set so that they match. So that, you know, if I send you a hamburger, it's still a hamburger and not an eggplant, because that would
Eggplant
really be
means something very different.
very awkward for us, right?
Yeah, I don't understand this conversation even a little bit.
I'll show you a little later what the eggplant
Well, I'm
emoji-
assuming it means a big fat dick.
It sure does.
Very good, Alfie. Look at you.
I don't need a lot of
You-
hints.
right, you don't
but
need
they're
a
always
lot.
too small, and I can't tell what the fuck they're trying to say when it's like pile of shit, birthday candle, wave at me, thumbs up. Like, what are you trying to say?
I think that's inviting you for chocolate ice cream, honestly.
Fair.
Shit. What was the sequence again? Shit, birthday candle.
Next week, join us for a new segment I like to call Have Al Interpret This Emoji String.
That's fair. That's a good game.
This is going to be a good game. I
Yes.
feel good
Because
about
first I
it.
have to find my glasses and find out what these are actually pictures of.
Right. It's fair. It's fair.
So now maybe you do and maybe you don't have strong feelings about cheeseburgers. And this particular author didn't know that he did until he saw the following tweet over the weekend. Now, it was a picture of the Apple cheeseburger emoji and then a picture of the Google cheeseburger
Which
emoji.
would be this, right?
Right?
Okay.
With the comment that says, I think we need to have a discussion about how Google's burger emoji is placing the cheese underneath the burger.
Yeah, I'm going to have real issues with
while
contestant
Apple
number
puts
2
it
up
on
there.
top.
Yeah.
That's a wrong
Now,
place
when
for
you
your
take a
cheese.
good hard look at the position of the ingredients on the emoji, Apple puts the lettuce on the bottom.
Because you want your hot side hot and your cool
Right.
side cool.
Presumably some
DLT.
variant of iceberg lettuce sourced from an Italian quarry. It's understandable as a mechanism for preventing the lower bun from getting soggy. Now, that's why you put your lettuce on the bottom, to shield it from the dripping grease from the burger
Right,
patty so that your
exactly.
bun
Never
doesn't
knew
get soggy.
that.
There's math involved here, people.
The grease rolls off to the
It's
side.
in
and
fact
onto your shirt.
In fact, the same approach taken by the In-N-Out burger chain.
Yep.
Lettuce on the bottom, bun doesn't get soggy. Now, Google's positioning of the cheese is blasphemous, simultaneously defying both culinary physics, how do you cook it to drip down the bun like that, and good taste. It'll result in a soggy, doughy mess. It's so egregious that Google CEO Sundar Pichai
Sure.
Yep.
took notice and promised to drop everything and address it if folks can agree on what the correct ordering should be.
Well, cheese on the meat.
Clearly,
So,
cheese
yeah, so
on
going
top.
back. So, yeah, I think contestant number 1 on the left of your screen here would be the correct sequence of events.
I would agree with that.
But even if you were to make your own, so is part of the fight the fact that if they make an emoji that is in the same sequence yet artistically different? I mean, clearly they're not going to copy the exact
More
same.
or less
are they-
sesame seeds.
Right. Are they saying that would be copying or copyright infringement? I'm wondering.
You know what?
And-
I don't think so. I think it's just dealer's choice, because some notable examples in the Microsoft hamburger emoji, it goes lettuce, tomato, cheese, burger, bun.
And then my other question is, more importantly, like, I get a text message, I roll over, I put my glasses on to see these little tiny pictures, and you put a cheeseburger. What
Right.
are you saying? What? Let's go get a cheeseburger. I'm eating a cheeseburger. You look like a cheeseburger.
Again,
How big is your cheeseburger compared to an eggplant?
next week's segment,
Oh, you better work on this.
I'm going to build this. All right. So there are other atrocities in the cheeseburger realm.
No.
Yes. So
Or
Say it isn't
first
so.
of all, Microsoft has the lettuce on top.
Hang on, I got to get hamburger.
Samsung, however, has this particular strange order.
now, why does Samsung have an emoji? What the fuck is that? Oh, for their phones? They have
Because
phones?
Samsung has proprietary everything. Yeah, Samsung
So who
makes the
Then
Galaxy.
who makes the fucking Google? What's a Google phone?
It's an actual Google phone. I actually own one.
That's a Google
Oh,
phone.
I just
It's a
assumed that
Google
was
Pixel.
a Samsung.
No, it's not.
Oh, wait. Oh, look what I have found.
What have you
The
found?
mother load. Stand by.
He's
Continue.
he's got a load of hamburger. The
No.
Hamburglar, ladies and
No.
gentlemen.
Oh, she was just here.
Chunky. She was just here.
Now, let's look at the Samsung's emoji for a
Long time
second.
listener, first
To
time.
create this monstrosity, you'd have to put the lettuce on top of the sizzling patty and then put the cheese on to melt it, because the Samsung burger goes tomato, cheese, lettuce, burger. Nobody does this because it's insane.
and it results in cold cheese on a hot
Right.
burger.
And
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Note 7's battery designer was responsible. The Note 7 notably was the one that burst into flames. The LG burger is ideal for anyone who hates tomatoes because there are none. The LG burger goes lettuce, cheese, burger. The HTC emoji,
You're welcome.
very nice. The HTC emoji you can see goes cheese, burger, lettuce burger, which in theory sounds all right, except for you're going to have some hot, soggy lettuce in the middle. I feel bad about it. So getting the internet
What
to
the
agree.
fuck is an HTC and a Mozilla?
So
Mozilla is a web browser.
yeah,
And
and
HTC
HTC is a
That's what's in pot.
no.
No,
No.
That's
that's
THC.
THC. Same song, same song.
God, you should know that. I know that. and That's
so
weird.
Clayton
It's
has
all
put
the
up a
same letters.
graphic of the various emojis that we have
Yes.
spoken
And
about.
LG makes
So
phones?
Samsung makes phones. HTC is a phone company. LG makes phones.
Aren't we
Microsoft
excited to
makes
find out
phones.
there's this many choices in phones? I did not know.
Or cheeseburgers.
I knew. Let me tell you how well I research all my phones. Very.
So what I'm noticing here, because I've only owned phones by 2 different companies,
Sure.
Motorola is no longer in the emoji game.
Well, Motorola's still out there. Hello, Moto. They're back, but they don't have. I don't know if they are in this
they
fight.
haven't made,
So-
they haven't cooked a cheeseburger yet.
Right.
Maybe not.
So the Android
ground
platform.
I'm fascinated by this. And
So the Android platform and operating system is made by Google. So your default emoji set would be the Google emoji set. However, if you're Samsung, you shit all over Google's thing and put Samsung shit all over everything. So they've got their own set. HTC does a very similar thing. All of the phone makers want to just pee all over.
so in
Android.
my phone, I have a selection of emojis to choose from.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you.
I just want you to know, if you get an emoji from me, I clearly don't have my glasses on and
So-
I hit the wrong button.
Okay, so in the bottom of your screen, do you see the little happy face right there, Nick, in the bottom?
Yeah, I've never been that
So
optimistic.
if you touch that, emojis.
I don't like.
But then you swipe through. There are so many. I'm always astounded when I go through emoji that there's an emoji for that.
So, like, what if I were to send you this? Outlet, get your phone. If I sent you that, what would that?
Fucking glasses.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
discovered just this week that there's a burrito emoji
Oh,
because
yes.
I was very hungry for a breakfast burrito and I was simultaneously texting with a friend of mine, and so I said to that friend, "Why are you such a terrible friend and why don't I have burritos? You should bring me a burrito."
Now
To which she said,
Yeah.
"Get your own fucking burrito because I need one too."
Like, if I sent this, you would know.
What did we send?
Oh, God, he's.
I got the receipt from Rotten Grapes.
How long does it take you to open up your? Oh, I texted the wrong person. Never mind. I just
So
texted to
somebody
him.
just
Wait,
got a dirty text with a burrito and a cheeseburger.
I just sent it to him.
Now, if you sent me a burrito and a cheeseburger, I would think dirty
No,
bottom.
I just sent it
and
to
that's
the
why you
manager
can't
of
come over.
Charlie's in Chicago. No, stand by. So, no, if I sent you. That's funny that I just did that because I'm a dumbass. Wanna.
Somebody's gonna listen back to this later and
Now
realize
we're just drunk texting people.
There, now I just sent it to you, Alfie. So now if I sent you that, if you can see it. Oh, she got a message.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, now that's not yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Now, so
Wait, what did you say? The listeners
Wanna
want to know.
see
What
a
did you
movie.
say?
oh,
So
I,
he sent me
I sent
a
wanna see
movie
ya
camera.
with a movie camera.
Oh, very nice.
And then like if you're watching, you say I'm watching.
Nope, that I don't get.
Well, that's just your eyes, people's eyes.
But is it eggs?
No,
it's
they're eyes.
But are you watching me? Or are you outside my house? Should
no.
I panic?
Like
I use the eyes emoji on
like-
Facebook all the time. When I don't have anything
That's
to
lip-
say, but I want you to know that
that's
I saw it.
lipstick.
I put
that
the
says
eyes.
burning ring of fire to
that's
me.
lipstick.
That tells me that your dog's trying to hump your leg and it's a hostage video.
And then you can also do
send me the
different.
red tip
There's
of your
also
lipstick.
different skin tones. So if you were sending a text to somebody, you can represent the skin tone you are.
I always use the Obama thumbs up, like the
So, like,
the
if
black
you're a-
skin tone.
a
thumbs
car-
But
up.
if you sent me this thing with the eyes and the lipstick thing, I think you were watching your dog hump your leg.
God.
And then this last one was
That's
me
part
I'm
of being
trapped in a
50.
nail salon.
Join us next week
Right.
I know. I
How
don't
about-
get
for
it.
my new favorite segment.
How
This
about-
is going to be amazing. I hope you'll play
Hello,
along
Moto.
because this
I
will
will.
be a
I mean,
lot
I just
of fun.
tried on this one and I
Yeah.
failed.
We're gonna
And there's
just
thousands
send you
of
emojis
There's
and
also
have you
for,
interpret them.
for like there's Santa Claus. There's all kinds of there's jobs, little doctors, nurses. There's pets.
They've got emojis. I
birds.
can't figure out why
Would
I
you
would
like?
need them.
Do you have the crabs? I just sent you a crab.
Oh wait, I do not want to get that emoji.
No one does.
Wow, there's so many.
I know what you did last summer, and I'm sending you this crab.
Oh, wow. Talk into the whisk, please. Talk into the whisk.
Oh my God. All right. Well, speaking of things I don't want to do, if it's a crime to sing in the car, who amongst us is not guilty?
Oh my goodness.
So
I do my best singing in the
now
car.
I got to keep these on because I was just staring at fucking shapes like a.
God, he's angry.
Tuatha Mwala, a 38-year-old father of two. Do you like the confidence with which I pronounce that name?
I'm not sure what you
It's
said.
100% bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Don't even know. Told the Montreal Gazette he was driving to the grocery store when he popped a CD into his car's stereo. His jam of choice for this bottled water run, C&C Music Factory's 1990 hit, Gonna Make You Sweat. Everybody dance now. He sang along. Obviously, you can't
Clear,
not
you can't
do it.
not, right.
We've already proven that.
And we know Martha Wash.
Yeah. Suddenly, he says, he heard the wail of a siren behind him. I was thinking they wanted to pass, but they called on the speaker, please go to the right side, he told the CTV Montreal. I stopped and 4 police came, 2 on each side, and checked the inside of the car. They asked me if I screamed. I said, no, I was just singing. The police checked his... The police checked his license and registration and then gave Mwala a $149 ticket, $118 US, for the offense of screaming in public. I can't drive in Montreal.
So I'm
Clearly.
saying, is Moala code for Al Perkins?
Yeah, good. It has Al right in
I thought
there.
it was a Disney movie. Oh, it's Moana.
Moana.
Different.
Montreal's police website says the city's noise bylaws vary by borough, but in general, noise resulting from cries, clamor, singing, altercations, or cursing, and any other form of uproar is among the categories of prohibited noise.
Uproar.
Mwala told CTV that he wasn't singing especially loud, just as loud as you would sing if you're happy and you like this song. Oh, I thought he was going somewhere else with that.
Clap your hands.
Yeah.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
It would really help if I read ahead. I don't know if my
Why
voice
start
was,
now?
Yeah. I don't know if my voice was very bad, and that's why I got the ticket, but I was very shocked, he told the television network. I understand if they are doing their job, they are allowed to check if everything's okay. If I kidnap someone or if that's the danger inside, but I would never expect they would give me a ticket for that. He is contesting the ticket. Well, wait, are you ready for this? I didn't read ahead. Are you ready for this one? A question for the Montreal police. How do you not sing to this song? That's literally what it ends with.
It's true.
They came to our same conclusion.
I agree.
So we Murder, She Wrote this and came to the same conclusion.
Thank you, Jessica Fletcher.
It's irresistible.
If I were still naming these shows, I would use Amina's comment from the chat room called "Old People Using Phones in Studio C."
yes.
Because that's exactly what
That's what that segment just was. It was lovely.
Now, I'd like you to take personal offense because you were grouped into old people, and you're the youngest on the
no,
cast.
he was trying to. He was just trying to explain modern
Me and
technology
Rachel Maddow, we
to
answered to both.
an old lady that passed on the
I can't
street.
see.
What the fuck is this pile of shit mean on my phone?
I don't know what's
Now,
happening
the
now.
poop emoji would have been very beneficial last weekend because while prepping for my colonoscopy, that's all I would have sent you back. What are you up to? Poop emoji.
With a camera.
And a wave.
And then you did a
yeah.
with a camera. We're doing a film about Uranus.
Poop emoji, lots of hand sanitizers.
Yeah. You know who's not amused by that poop emoji? Cluck the kitten.
Oh, yeah.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. Talk about,
That's our problem. No shit.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, poor Cluck.
Softball.
Poor
Softball.
Cluck.
Poor Cluck.
Okay, Alfie.
Can we follow
get
up
your-
on Cluck?
Get your. Oh, I plan to. Okay, get
There's
ready.
not a lot here, but bring it on.
Well, I figured you're gonna be. Oh my God.
Tease it up. I'm ready for break.
Stranger things happen. And that's all I really got.
There's still 25 seconds left in this intro. God damn it.
Well, we'll look through some stuff. I did look something up. Hold on, let me get my glasses
I'm
again.
gonna say we already shit on the Kevin Spacey story.
Yes. People died on This Is Us, so no surprise there.
What?
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Old people using technology in
I was
studio
gonna
C.
say.
Okay, the other thing, this is not my
It's
fault.
too late now. It's too late
All
now.
right.
All right, we'll be back with whatever Al tried to get put together. It's the beginning of hour 3, and aren't you glad you're here?
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
And we're back, beginning of hour 3, even though timing isn't exactly correct, but who cares?
Wah, wah.
It's a Tuesday night. Studio C is in full effect. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Kat Carlson and Al Perkins. Marnie Ryer has the night off because she needed it. We're complete zero on the amount of trick-or-treaters that we've had tonight at my house, which I'm really happy about because the caution tape and the lack of exterior lighting on the house makes it look deserted and creepy, so everybody took notice. Ah, heaven's sakes. Well, if you've missed the first 2 hours, there was a lot of laughter, some mispronounced names, and a cat who can't defecate on his own. So
Not me.
Feel free, not that cat, different cat. Feel free to figure this out. Also, most of the show, Kat Carlson has been devastated with her breakup from Demi Lovato.
It's true.
We'll find out more about that later. But in the meantime, it's Al Perkins and entertainment on Q Talk America.
Well, hi. Yeah. Well, we'll just catch up on get some facts straight on the Kevin Spacey House of Cards, because House of Cards, terrific show. I haven't watched this season yet, but it was the start of the binge watching TV. It was kind of the first offering from the Netflix original series that really hit it big. So they had planned on this being the last, kind of in the same way that Veep had planned on coming to an end. I think they were just going to wait to announce it, maybe to build up this season.
Sure.
This next season coming as see the last season or whatever. Or what was the show, The Good Wife, that the announcement came like just in the Super Bowl? It was during a Super Bowl commercial. So they probably had some better way to do that than this. But then it's this shutting down production indefinitely to decide what they're going to do about Kevin Spacey. I just, that to me just has an ick. That to me just feels, it feels off. It feels wrong. It just feels like, okay, this was 30 years ago. No sex. I know we've already covered this.
There's been no issue with him for 35 years.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said a thing aside from this one incident, which I'm not negating.
Right, exactly.
But nobody on the production crew or the production company or the cast, anybody, nobody's ever had a problem with him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're going to recoil and be like,
yeah, it's just like now we're getting like it's getting into a little bit of like, okay, if
Calm
there's something
down.
truly happening, yes, be worried about it. If you have an aggressor in a position of power and stuff like that. And the other thing is mostly about power and like 30 years ago, what power? And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into the he said about it because it just comes off as ick no matter what. But I just don't think you have to like suspend a TV show to make sure Robin Wright is feeling okay. You know what I mean? Like. I think that's a little overboard. So there's that. But then now this is kind of breaking ish news.
It's so important. He has to get his glasses out to read it.
I do because I realize I have to read and I'm just getting more tired by the second. So I guess there's been some statements about Entourage sexual misconduct against Jeremy Piven. Ariane Bellamar, who claimed on Monday that the Entourage star sexually assaulted her multiple times. And he says, I unequivocally deny the appalling allegations being peddled about me. It did not happen, Piven said in a statement. It takes a great deal of courage for victims to come forward with their histories, and my hope is that the allegations about me that didn't happen do not detract from the stories that should be heard.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so there's one more person. I mean, it's strange goings on, and we know there's more stories coming. Like, there's more stories coming. And there's people whose careers are going to end. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And if this is the end of Kevin Spacey, whether it's for the statement or for his actions 30 years ago that brings it all to a halt, who can say?
It's just so weird.
But I don't feel like we have to worry about the cast of him being a predator to the cast of that to me seems a little off.
But what I don't like is the internal conflict that I feel that I have now, because I don't want to take away from what the young man is claiming that happened 30 years ago. I don't want to take away from that. But I feel like if I don't have sympathy, I'm an asshole. But if I do have sympathy, I'm an asshole. I just feel conflicted with this whole thing because, again, how much I love Kevin Spacey. He's very talented. I loved him in everything he's ever done. Yeah. Even in shows I don't watch. I think his acting. I just saw Baby Driver. He played a complete asshole in that movie. Fantastically.
Yeah.
And everything he does. And now I feel like if I'm not mad about this, I'm the jerk. And if I do feel mad about this, I'm the jerk.
Right, and it's the whole conversation with Woody Allen, and do you separate the artist from the man? Like, do you enjoy the art, but condemn? And then, like, that story just strikes me as so bizarre that we're gonna need something else. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so uncomfortable calling someone a pedophile. It's so awful.
Yeah.
It's so like,
Right.
you can't come back from that. That's one of those things that once that's out in the world, you're just done. Like, you're never coming back.
Yeah.
They can exonerate you. They can, everybody can apologize, and that label just stays. That letter just stays on you, and it just got an ick factor. His coming out story, awful.
Right.
The way he
timing
chose
and
to
everything.
The absolute worst way
Right.
to do that.
Exactly.
Right. Just
Yeah.
just do that one sentence thing and walk away. And I think that we might need to figure out everyone's feelings on and shut down production. Is anyone going to throw shit at him during this show? So that's that, and just one more person. And now we keep finding out all these, like, Will and Grace has been. Are they just filming this last week? Like, I was under
That
the
is
impression.
They
Correct.
are spot the fuck on. And
Oh
I
my-
think they are. I think
my
they're
God,
filming
don't
it
cry.
a week at a time.
Right. But I was under the impression that they went before the cameras in, like, mid-August or.
It started.
No, I think they're filming this
But
now.
to get a Harvey Weinstein joke in this week, to get the paper towels thing in
Mm-hmm.
so close to, like they are staying current, and
Don't
they
cry.
may
You look like
realize
Jeff Sessions watching a
a
black man vote. God
Oh my
damn it.
God.
Fantastic.
that episode was so funny. Oh, look, a morphine drip. No card. Front desk, who do I have to thank for this lovely morphine drip?
Look, there's nothing in the minibar, or as you call it, a
the
bar.
Oh,
But yeah, they are timely as hell.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
on it.
spot on.
More than they
Those
ever have
writers.
Yeah, I mean, but they were making horrible Tom Cruise jokes at the time. Like, they really went after Tom Cruise. They went after Angelina Jolie a few times for being a little wackadoodle. And they would catch it and be like, "Wait, when did you get that?" But I just feel like it's so like
Filmed
right
yesterday.
this minute, yeah,
Right.
and genuinely funny. Like, I'm delighted by my TV again. I'm kind of sad by other things I've been laughing at lately in compared to, like, just straight up adult humor. And where, Veep is very, very funny and very political, but this is
Right.
just stuff that we would all say. Like, we would all say it to each other. You know what I mean? I
I've
don't know
learned
if
one
we-
thing about loved ones: cremate.
Right, so she woke up the first
Shovel of dirt hit the casket. She woke up.
Oh my God, she's dead, honey. I went to her funeral.
When he's like, "Karen, I've always loved you." Well, there's the answer. Did that morphine drip kick in? Karen,
Does your
I've
business associate know? He has some strong
He suspects.
suspicions.
Does Benji number 2 know you're a
I
homosexual?
love that it's Benji number 2.
Yeah, doesn't even bother to change their names. Oh, he had the horrible misfortune of getting old. So goddamn funny.
Be sure to work out your Hemis for our meeting later. God, it was so
Yeah,
funny.
that's filthy too, in its own very special way. So Thursday night, the good place and Will and Grace are proving to be just a delightful 1-2 punch of
Yes.
Friday morning TV for me. Whenever you get to watch it, I'm happy for it.
And I'm saving all of the Will and Graces so I can watch them again later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As much as I can.
So we had talked about, like, all things Stephen King coming true. It turns out there is Netflix did not Netflix, Spike TV, but it showed up on Netflix last week. There was a mini series made out of The Mist, another novella, but I think this one is actually a short story because I think it falls in the short story, not novella range. It's very confusing with him whether he's writing novellas or short stories.
What's the definition between the two?
5 pages.
Novella is slightly longer than a short story. Then you're at a small book.
But with mini series, like, what are we talking? Like, 'cause Roots was a mini series, and it was like a.
Oh
week.
no, the miniseries isn't under question. That's just this is a miniseries because they canceled it. They're not bringing it back.
Oh.
But a miniseries is something that only lasts one. But, like, all these shows that they're introducing as a limited run special, unless it's a hit, and then we're bringing it back.
Oh.
Like, that's how
Okay.
Downton Abbey started. That's how Big Little Lies started.
All right.
13 Reasons Why, Stranger Things. They all acted like, if this flops, we never intended to make anything else.
right.
But if it's a hit, we've got 3 seasons written.
Okay, so a novella
Oh.
is a fictional prose that lands somewhere between 7,500 and 40,000 words. So longer than a short story, but shorter
than a novel. You're in this weird range.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he puts out he puts out collections, and some of them are a collection of short stories, and some of them, like the one where Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption and Apt Pupil, those are novellas, because those are clearly 4 short
A little bit
novels.
longer, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like almost an anthology, but that's the same thing
there's
too,
a
because
lot of
there's a
words.
lot of words. But anyway, so The Mist is out there, so I decided to watch an episode. It has nothing to do with the book except for there's mist. I mean, they have changed every single character, all the
Not
circumstances.
even a spray. It's a mist.
It's a mist,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there a
So-
Sierra mist in there?
Oh, I do enjoy that.
And Amina, it would be a pederast. You're absolutely right. It's not a pedophile because everyone likes children except for Clayton. Pederast means you're doing something dirty. It's kind of like the Indiophile, Francophile. We've talked about.
Right.
I like that I'm involved
file
in this
means
story.
that you enjoy. Pederast means you did something bad.
Audiophile.
Audiophile, right.
Citizens arrest.
Citizens arrest. Another surprising thing from watching TV, we put on the MeTV channel, and the kid that played Robin on Batman was really fucking cute. His young Ward. We were
Burt
like,
Ward?
We were like watching Batman the other day, and I'm like,
Burt Ward was cute.
He was cute. Whatever his name was. Okay, so
Burt
Stranger
Ward.
Things, so we'll cut right to the chase. Stranger Things came back. Season 2, no spoilers. Not quite as good as Season 1 because you've lost the surprise of all the 80s delights. Like, you already know that soundtrack is going to be absolutely fucking killer. You know that they are stealing from Tangerine Dream and Giorgio Moroder, the guy that ended up on all the movies for Tim Burton, Danny Elfman. Like, you can just hear all of those influences from the 80s. They're absolutely perfect. They're stealing from all the best things. It's still a lot of fun. It's just this time it's not a surprise. You're not delighted clapping, going, oh my God, that looks just like that. The only thing they get a little weird is they have Paul Reiser from Mad About You and from Aliens. They're doing a sequel, and they do an almost, it's way too on the nose to be doing an homage to Aliens with Paul Reiser standing there in a sequel with almost a shot-for-shot attack scene from Aliens. Like, that's where it just got to be like, all right, now now it's too much. Like, it's
Okay.
as a nod and a wink, it's fun at this level of now we're at the Goldbergs. Like, now we're just, one day Paul Reiser came to the set and we got to pretend we were filming Aliens. Like, it was just too on the nose. It was too much. But really, a lot of fun, and I got caught up in it. At
I
first,
feel like that's very inside baseball, though. Like, you get it, not everybody else catches it.
No, but I mean, you can just enjoy it as a really, really nice, mildly spooky. There's a couple parts that may be a little upsetting, but it's not a scary. It's just creepy, and it's good popcorn TV, like Gremlins and all that stuff. But if you really were a fan of 80s movies, or you remember like 80s stuff, then you just get to enjoy like how much they liked the same movies you did. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
when a singer is imitating a singer you like, you're always happy. Like, oh, we like the same people. Like, we're going to be fine for an evening of this person because clearly she wants to rip off everything Barbra Streisand's ever done. We're in. But the freaky deaky little thing for these I think they're the Duffler brothers. I think it's Duffler, not Duffer, that wrote and directed it. They have fun 80s songs in there too. So it's not just this soundtrack that's so evocative and fun and so completely 80s, but they also have appropriate music for the time and era of 80s songs to play in. So the kids are listening to what you'd think they'd listen to. The older brothers listening to like slightly cooler music from the same era. So you get like the bad 80s and the good 80s together as the older brothers trying to guide the young kid away from like trashy 80s music into like cooler stuff like The Clash. So it's kind of fun to see all the stuff. But the last episode starts off with Barbra Streisand, and then there's a really bizarre scene with a woman and a teenager where they play Donna Summer, I Do Believe I Fell in Love. Like the most random deep cut from a Donna Summer album anyone could ever come up with. You're not going to find two people on earth that aren't fans to my level that would be able to pick that song out of a lineup.
Okay.
But
I've never even heard that title.
It's from She Works Hard for the Money. It's the closing track that Donna wrote
Oh.
and produced all by herself. And like, that song. That's such a deep cut. It's such a rarities track, and it makes for a very uncomfortable scene. Like, why is this older woman looking at this teenage boy while Donna Summer sings "I Do Believe I Fell in Love"? Is this like a rapey, "Do you want me to seduce you, Mrs. Robinson" moment? It's very strange.
Okay.
Very strange. With a character that they really need to... They really just didn't write well. If there's one character in there that's just kind of poorly written and makes no sense and doesn't... By the end, you're like, why was he in here? So... It's more science. I would call it more science fiction than I would call it horror. But you know, a couple creepy moments. It's just good popcorn TV. Like, it's so much fun. The kids are terrific. Just great star turns from all of them. David Harbour, the one that gave the great speech at the Golden Globes last week right after Trump was inaugurated. He's so good. And Winona Ryder, I'm still convinced, is playing her character from Heathers.
30 years later.
What happened to that damaged girl who watched a school get blown up? Here she is in a small Indiana town having a nervous breakdown, and she's very excitable and smokes like a fucking chimney.
Atta girl.
And it's just fun character choices that Winona Ryder makes. America's favorite pixie, as she was called on South Park. And now a year has passed, so all of the kids are taller than her because she is so tiny.
Right.
That 12-year-olds are taller than her. And they hide it a lot, and you don't you're like, wow, she really was that short. Like, Beverly Leslie would be like taller than her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So watch it. If you were a fan of the first season, get into the second season. It's an easy watch. Like, it's just well done. Good for Netflix for getting another one right.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, they do a lot of right.
Yeah. And next season, if it's just those kids riding around on bikes, swearing at each other, I'll be delighted to tune in again. Listening to the music of 1985. It's a good year for music because now this was all winter of 84. So, like, the music was all appropriate, like some good Police songs, like the school dance. They weren't dancing to the generic shit that we play before the show starts. You know what I mean? Like, they paid the money and people want their songs heard.
If we ever have a budget,
right?
We'll get licensed by BMI and ASCAP and do whatever the fuck we want.
That'd be lovely.
Fuck them all.
That'd be a lot of fun.
So that's pretty much it for entertainment because the other follow-up from last week, the two movies I was looking for,
Yes.
Beach Rats and Super Dark Times. The reason that I can't find them is because between them, they're playing in 5 theaters across the United States. You know how...
And none of them are in Phoenix,
currently, 3 theaters, three rooms are playing one movie at Harkins 19.
Mm-hmm.
There's only five rooms. You can see this movie
in the whole country.
In the whole country.
Right.
So, like, it's just crazy that it, like, at the Arizona 24, there's one movie playing on 5 screens there, and so I don't know what's going on with this. Why these movies, if they're just that independent and they're just getting their Oscar release dates. Not that I think either one of them is going to be there, but is it just like qualifying theaters so you get your 7 days in a theater and then they're going to go right to video? And Falsettos was on PBS, and I forgot to tape it, and I am so disappointed.
You can still watch it. Check your on-demand place because you can stream it directly from their website if not. You can just go to pbs.com. It's on there.
Because the Sweeney Todd with...
and if that still doesn't happen, let me know.
Yeah, then we'll do other things. And I am a generous subscriber to the PBS, so I feel like they can send me a fucking DVD.
Right. If there's been a televised musical this year... I got it, kids.
And from the I thought they were dead file, I learned that Nanette Fabray is 97 and is still alive. Mm-hmm. Rosemary, again, few of you out there probably realize who Rosemary is. She, for many years, was a guest on Hollywood Squares. She was the older actress who always had the
little... Take more Rosemary for the block.
Yeah, take the joke of that. And she always wore the little bow in her hair over on her left side. She was famously in the Dick Van Dyke Show, played alongside Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke, Carl Reiner, and the whole crew. But anyway, I follow her Twitter, and a documentary just came out about her called Wait for Your Laugh. And it's playing in a lot of places all over the country. It's not coming here, but I think the closest it's going to get is like a Playhouse or some movie theater in L.A. So I'm trying to figure out, because I really would like to see it.
And what does that have to do with Nanette Fabray?
Just that Rosemary posted on her Twitter feed a picture of her and Nanette Fabray from... Oh, no, actually, was it a recent picture? It's not too terribly old, if I'm not mistaken. of them, and she's saying, I want to say happy birthday to my friend Nanette Fabre. She's 97, and it gives me hope because Rosemary's 95. So
And what's the one that was Coach's wife on Coach?
Shelley Fabre.
Shelley Fabre. Is that her daughter?
That I couldn't tell you.
Because she was a Mouseketeer, right? Isn't she?
Makes sense.
Wasn't Shelley Fabre like one of Annette Funicello's? Isn't she the other famous Mouseketeer from?
That makes sense. But Kat will probably tell us here just
Shelley
a second.
Fabre is the daughter of Elsa Fabre
Not
and
Nanette.
James.
Is Nanette her grandmother or
No, I don't think there's any
great-grandmother? Or an aunt?
Stand by.
This is old people who are doing research. That's what this is. This is what this is. It's exciting. But anyway, it's the trailer for the movie for the life of Rosemary looks very interesting because everybody and their brother's in it because she's worked with everybody. Over the years.
She's old enough to have come from.
Oh, and on her website, this is interesting.
Come from vaudeville.
On her website, they are selling items that are hers, like there are autographed pictures. There are actual the rose pins that she used to wear everywhere she'd go, the gold rose pins they're actually from her collection. There are actually fur coats from Dicker and Dicker of Beverly Hills, which was always a sponsor for Hollywood Squares many years ago. So I thought that's interesting. They're actually she's selling off her stuff.
So Shelley Fabre is the niece of Nanette.
Okay, cool. So there is a connection.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow, I'm glad we figured these things out. Well, now we're going to figure out other stuff.
Thank goodness for the internet.
Oh my God, I'm glad you're here, Kat, because now you're going to give us this little segment.
Oh, a segment.
Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of. Rise of frazzing two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing.
Kat Carlson, boys and girls.
So I was initially going to do two things of the two horrible things that I saw in the news today, but I decided that was too much. So we're going to start with bromance and how millennials are killing America. Oh. That's right.
That sounds upbeat.
I know.
All right.
But it's funnier than it sounds. The rise of the bromance is threatening heterosexual relationships, according to science. Science has said this.
Science? Come on.
Now.
I want to hear this.
Is science real?
It's true. Science is real. Millennial men now hug, sleep together, and share secrets. That's right. A man's man will sleep together in the same bed at a sleepover.
Gotta try this.
I thought it was just called a weekend.
I know. After surveying 30 undergraduates, now this was a long-reaching study, you see. 30 people were surveyed.
Okay.
Not even enough to make it to the Family Feud. Family Feud, 100 people
100
were
people
surveyed.
Top 5 answers on the board. Name something
but
you can sleep with, not have sex.
After surveying 30 college students, this particular study has discovered that 28 of them would rather talk about emotional issues with their male friends rather than their girlfriends. The majority also said it was easier to resolve conflicts with men and admitted they kept secrets from their partners, which they shared with their male friends.
Everybody does
well,
that.
Sure.
Though.
I should think so. I should hope
That's
so.
been going on forever. I mean, Lucy and Ethel told a lot to each other that they never told Fred and Ricky.
I read this. But were Fred and Ricky sleeping together?
Well, we don't know. Babaloo, Babaloo.
So a couple of things. I don't think anybody in this room is especially professional about straight men, right? I don't really know how straight men
You would have
interact.
more experience than I would.
Sure.
I've been left for women a couple of times.
It happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been left for men a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my proudest moment, but I got the flag in that poll too.
Wow.
Yeah, that went wrong.
But yeah, I read this and I was like, well, that's interesting because I feel like women have done that forever.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, this reads as new information.
Brand
new information for men.
As Phoebe would say.
That's right.
This is brand new information.
In fact, Dr. Stephen Robinson of the University of Winchester says that the results are significant and worrying for women, and warned that there's an emerging culture of sexism and disdain in the way millennial men view the opposite sex. He says these heterosexual millennial men cherish their close male friends so much that they may even provide a challenge to the orthodoxy of traditional heterosexual relationships. Given that young men are now experiencing a delayed onset of adulthood and an extended period of adolescence, men may choose to cohabitate as a functional relationship in the modern era. He continues, because heterosexual sex is now achievable without the need for romantic commitment, the bromance could increasingly become recognized as a genuine lifestyle relationship whereby two straight men can live together and experience all of the benefits of a traditional heterosexual relationship.
It was called The Odd Couple. It aired on TV in the 1970s.
Tony Randall was fabulous.
Saturday nights, yeah. One of them was debatably heterosexual.
Well, you know what? They don't reach quite that far back. These researchers say that films such as 21 Jump Street, Due Date, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin have also heralded the area of the lad flick, which I find very distasteful.
And super bad. That's another good one.
Did you say in your little reading there?
Maybe.
Somewhere, what about they can get all the benefits of a heterosexual relationship? Is that what you said?
Like the emotional benefits,
right?
Because
all of the like partnership and the living together and the fighting over the dishes.
They're
and
doing the Tinder for sex, but they're having the emotional relationship.
Okay, I want to make sure I was clear on that.
Yeah, with Spuds McKenzie. I don't know. Think of a guy's name.
Yeah, all the men
I
involved.
guess yours.
What the?
Chunky? Are we back to that?
Chunky McKee, ladies and gentlemen.
2 nights only. Get him.
2 nights only. Enjoy the veal.
No, tip all the way over. But I can see how that would completely work, because if they've got more things in common, they both like to watch sports, or they both like to work on cars, they would do that. So they meet in the middle with everything else.
Right.
Nobody's around nobody's around nagging them to pick up their shit and do this and do that, whatever. They can do whatever they please. And then on Friday night they break up for a few hours, and each goes and does whatever they need to do with whoever they need, and they come back and high five each other, and let's go back to watching football.
That's true. In fact, when the study participants were asked to describe the difference between a bromance and a romance,
no dicks.
They answered sex. Yeah. Really, the difference is sex.
Well, I guess you could go like this too. I guess there's a place for that. I mean, I don't want to upset Pudsey the anus free
unless you're
cat.
Clucky the kitty.
Anus free kitty.
Oh.
The rectally challenged.
One participant named Aaron told researchers, quote, "We hug when we meet, and we sleep in the same bed when we have sleepovers.
Yeah,
everybody knows it, and nobody is bothered by it. They do it too."
Again, I'm gonna have to like that. Do you have a spinner gidget? What are they
yeah,
called?
Fidget spinner. I got it this weekend at the Halloween show.
Okay.
Help me get through the show.
Shiny thing.
He's been more attentive. It's true.
I'm sorry. Like
it's helping his ADHD.
I'm okay with the bromance and the friendship and sharing secrets, but when you're sleeping in the same bed, it's time to get a different apartment. Like,
no, I'm gonna say nay.
I don't know.
I bought a king size bed on purpose.
See, and Nan says it's just one step away from humping each other. Once you get in the same bed, I don't care if you got your magic underwear on. You're doing it.
I don't know if this is evidence one way or the other, but another participant named Harvey said, well, for example,
somebody's gonna wake up with a boner.
They both are.
Yeah. And that's the day it happens.
Harvey says that his bromance partner, Tim, knows I love listening to Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
Oh, fuck off.
But I keep that quiet because he'll just judge me. I feel like I have to be more manly.
But I keep that quiet. I mean, the whole time I have his dick in my mouth, I'm thinking we're just friends.
I don't know her. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This falls under the we kiss in a shadow kind of deal here. Mama's calling bullshit.
I enjoyed this story, and I want to be a participant in the study.
The war.
You're gonna have to dim some lights if you're gonna pass off as a millennial. There we go.
How about that?
We're getting closer.
Oh, look, it's the Halloween edition.
Oh, look, it is. Look
Yeah.
at look at that.
Spookies.
We just got down to late 30s.
Really? You're in the most dark. There you go.
Yeah, I could pass it. Ah! What the hell was that?
My eyes. Even the camera couldn't adjust.
I
fast
just
enough.
Uncle
Did you see
Fester
that?
turned into a light bulb.
You're welcome.
Straight up.
Is there a sign-up sheet for this study, or is it done?
See the anus recant.
No, it's Cluck. Cluck is the name of the cat.
Well, okay, wait. This sounds like a gay buzzer story sourced from Reddit LOL.
It's true, it does.
What the fuck is a gay buzzer story? Is
Bu-
that one that like
no,
they buzz your
buzzer-
dicks so you don't
no.
get excited? Is it like gay therapy?
No, it's not like a shot collar for your cock.
Oh, okay.
No, Buzzer is a website that has like bogus stories.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be alleged stories.
That could be read as porn because that story, that story went dirty.
This one right here is labeled science.
Okay.
Joe.
Now,
It's-
what-
That
no.
sounds like the start of a spank bank story.
Does it
that I would
also
enjoy.
say where they found these 30 people? Is this?
At a Judy Garland concert?
Well, no, but
Well, I
she's
mean,
dead.
Beyonce. We have to millennial that joke.
Right.
They
It
read a
wasn't
Beyonce concert.
1963.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Where did they find the what campus of
The
what
University of Winchester. I believe they're British.
Oh,
the Brits.
God.
So that changes it all.
Yeah, now we're
Now they're
fucked.
all just gay.
Now-
British are gay. Nobody wins
Right,
that game.
exactly. Is it an accent? Are you gay? Yes.
Yes.
I was hoping you'd say like this is in San Antonio or it's
Yeah.
in Flagstaff or somewhere.
It
in,
could also be in Flagstaff. I've seen some
Yeah.
of those.
I
well,
don't
it
know.
gets cold.
I don't know whether to offer you a tea or a blowjob. I can't figure out where you're coming
Do you
from.
like
Like
tea?
my-
But yeah,
That's my favorite line from Brokeback Mountain.
I
Just
guess-
get in the tent.
I guess it's a blowjob then.
Well,
I hate
well,
tea.
I don't.
Wait, what's the millennial version of tea? Like Red Bull? No,
Do you like
it's
Red
too
Bull?
old.
No, that works.
Jolt Cola? I don't know. What are they drinking as crack now?
Four Locos.
Four Locos. There you go. See?
No, that's old.
Isn't that?
That's old.
I don't know.
Still.
know.
Do we have any millennial listeners? We sure don't.
We don't.
No, we just got lectured that we're chock full of them. We've got more millennials than Pudsy's got anuses.
Cluck. The cat's name is Cluck. She's a little bound up,
I
but it's
forgot.
Cluck.
Fun gay.
Oh,
Like fungi, but more makeup.
And
That's funny.
now-
Oh, Amina, you are on it tonight.
oh my God.
Johnny Weird.
Odd gay bromance. Most of them come from Reddit. What's a Reddit?
So go to Reddit.com.
Reddit is a social
Is-
media site.
Is it porn?
No,
It's not porn.
Because I was
think
delighted
you
to
can-
find out
That's
what
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
That's exactly
Right.
I
I learned
actually
what
I signed up for that. Now,
I learned what Tumblr
now
was
once
for.
again, is this study over? I need to
You know what? I can try and get you some contact information.
No.
I honestly don't
I
know.
mean, I'll do it for almost $10.
Because even in that study, they're going to call me fat.
Here's
Chunky.
what I know. I read it most of the way through one time. And I thought it was entertaining enough to bring to the show. And look at this.
I like the fact
Laughter.
that we are enjoying the story much
I
more.
learned about gay buzzers and Reddits,
Yes.
poop emojis,
Oh my God.
how to dress a cheeseburger correct. Well, I knew how to dress a cheeseburger. That
Well,
was
I
not
would
a surprise.
think you would know. Right.
I got nothing. I got
Oh
nothing.
my gosh.
I have two things.
Bring on two things. Bring
There's
it
not
on.
a Burger King near me.
There is not. I actually Googled that, and the closest one is at 7th and Glendale.
Yeah, I want a flame broiled burger.
It is nice to have a very nice flame.
Isn't there one on the 17th somewhere?
There is.
Yeah, but I'm not riding my bike
17
on the
and-
17th.
well, that's true. You can't.
Jesus Christ. Just kill
You're
me on
just
the street and
asking
make
for
me into a
trouble.
cheeseburger. Fuck.
But perhaps if you owned a vehicle.
And
Goodness.
the second thing
If
is
you're riding with your bromance partner.
exactly. Now will
Seriously.
my romance millennial drive me everywhere?
No,
Or
because
does it-
millennials don't drive.
Does that turn into driving Miss Daisy real quick?
In your case,
Yes,
yes.
Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Missy.
I mean, I would sit in the front seat.
Would you?
I
Would
do.
you?
That's not true. I have a lot of stress in the front
However,
passenger seat.
in fairness to you, the driver could potentially be black. I know you enough.
And any color. If you're driving, I'm open. Well,
I was
wow. We gotta go.
It's the best segment of two things for just one thing that I've done in a long time.
Okay, that's one. There's no Burger King near you. What's the other thing?
Oh, a double layer burger. Because if I drove that far, I just want two patties.
No, right.
That's
Two
fair.
all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese.
That's McD.
That's
I understand
a
that.
Big Mac.
I'm just gonna have to buy me a gas
Oh.
grill that doesn't have gas.
Actually, wait a minute. Where did I just
You can do
see?
that.
Yeah, I got into charcoal.
Hang on.
Get yourself a George Foreman. Do it right in your kitchen.
Wait, I just drove past a place that there is a sign that there is a new. Was it a Burger King?
It's very exciting.
Hang on, it's on a corner. It's on.
He's gonna channel it.
Shut up! I'm trying to backtrack where I was driving.
He's doing a fast food seance right now. I'm kidding.
He's wearing a crown. He's a cartoon.
I'm getting flame broiled. Are you getting flame broiled?
Is it a brazier food?
I'm getting a flaming queen. Royalty.
Now I'm sensing a potato product of some sort.
No, it's a corner that has nothing on it currently, and there's a sign that says coming soon. I swear it was a Burger King. I just have to remember where it was. But I was driving in the past few days, and I saw it.
That narrows it down.
Well, I'm trying to help you out.
Well, you went all the way to Scottsdale.
What was your second thing?
The second patty.
God.
You're almost as good at two things as I am. Because I only brought one.
Because I'm not coming back. It was too hard to find you. Put both pieces of meat on that one bun. I feel like that's healthy. Why will it never flood in Flagstaff? Because there's a dike on every corner.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Let me tell you.
It's only true because it's funny. All right, I got to go to bed.
Poor Cluck.
Do I have any more show to do, or should we say goodnight?
No, I think we're pretty much.
Is that the anus-free house rat?
Yeah, I think we're gonna call this a.
I didn't. I only got this far through this glass of wine.
Chug it and pedal home quick.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, really?
Oh no, I'll go face first into this table.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Do not Wendy Williams your way through the show.
Crazier things have happened.
We're gonna make that a verb.
Oh, well, I'd like to thank everybody who participated in the old chat room. Amina and Joe and my mom, and was an aunt in there too?
Yes.
And we had
there.
Jacob
So
with
many
a K, and we had
Jacobs.
Michael.
Michael, yeah, thank you for all for being there.
Oh, and Anant brought up the Heaven's Gate podcast about Heaven's Gate, the cult.
We'll figure that out later.
Ooh.
As we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.